Excuse me.
Thank you. That is kind.
You're a soldier?
Long ago.
Do you mind? I'm Sam.
Please. Tell me, Sam, do you know the story of our slain king and his beautiful daughter, the Princess Visa?
I don't.
Well, you remind me of her.
Tell me what's going on.
I'm here to finish your training.
A little late for that.
One is never too old to learn, Snips.
All right. What's the lesson, Master?
Live. Or die.
I fear we lost some measure of our honor since that betrayal. I'm afraid our compassion, our kindness, our very joy died with that young girl.
I think it lives in you. I won't fight you.
I've heard that before.
Man, oh man, do I love that intro. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Space-Tastic Discussions. And yes, I am back. I know it's been a while since I did a live stream, actually with Trey of the Bat Channel and his brother Corey, who is now a father, and him an uncle. Congratulations, Trey. I'm really happy for you, really happy. I know it's probably exciting to have a daughter, and just don't show her any more scary movies, violent movies to get Wonder, or else Wonder Mom will be mad at you. If you know, you know. And what up, Zod Rider? Justice for fives. Exactly. Same with you, Super Bro, and we are going to get into that. So, yeah, Revenge of the Sith came out in theaters again, and me and my special guest for tonight both just saw this in theaters, and I had to talk about this, and I had to talk about this with this guy to bring him on and talk about my all-time favorite Star Wars film ever. Yes, I know this is a hot take, but I love this film so much. And okay, pulling up Corey's comment. Oh, so you met your niece right now, Corey. Nice. So, anyways, this man needs no introduction. He's the creator of Cell, and despite the fact that his name is Skiiwalker, you don't see him talking much Star Wars. So, this is the perfect time to bring him on. So, please welcome as I bring on Skiiwalker the Jedi. How are you, man?
Boo, 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 boo. What's going on, y'all? How's everybody doing? Much love. Congratulations to Trey out there. Just heard the good news, man. Much love, man. Congrats on the new baby. You did?
Absolutely, Sky. Congrats. It's a big milestone, big accomplishment, and let's again, hopefully Trey does not get in more trouble with it with his wife.
Huge.
Inside joke for those of you who don't know. Well, sort of inside. He posted it publicly. But anyway, Sky, how are you feeling tonight?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. Had a great day overall. Been a little busy these last few weeks, but really trying to or about to get in this new groove, man. And it's a very exciting time. I'm sure that we'll kind of dive into that a little later, but yeah, man, just exciting stuff going on all around, bro.
Absolutely. And yes, we'll both talk about what's been going on with both of us because, I mean, I've already posted it, but I'll say it again here at the end of the show why I've been kind of MIA for a little bit because real life comes first. As I always tell anyone who comes on my channel, your health and your real life responsibilities come first.
Yeah, man. Like, I've been dreading. Like, I've been so busy. I didn't even have time to go to the doctor recently, but I just went is this morning. Shout out to the staff. Got me in and out of there in under an hour. Shout out to them because I had sprained my thumb, and I got this good, like little. It ain't even nothing, man. But I got this good little brace now. Shout out to the staff. Got me in and out of there in under an hour. I was like, hey, that's what's up. You know what I mean?
And shout out to you, Sky, though, for going, because a lot of people, if they break a finger, they're like, oh, it's just a finger, who cares? And it can cause long-term problems. So, yeah, shout out to you for not ignoring a serious health issue, even something like a finger.
Yeah, man, because the problem was my thumb kept feeling like it was like gonna come out the socket, man, and it was like a little painful. It wasn't dislocated. I had just sprained it, but yeah, it was feeling funny, but I'm glad that I went and got this brace.
And I'm glad. Again, it's important to take care of yourself. And really excited for today. Really excited. How do you feel about talking about Revenge of the Sith today?
Hey, man, I'm happy, bro. Can't wait to have this conversation. Been looking forward to it. And yeah, it's an exciting time, bro.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But before we get started on that, I just want to give a special reminder, or I guess announcement on this channel. The One Punch Man trailer by Zodwriter is coming out on May 30th, 2025.
5/30/2025.
My birthday, even.
Right?
So,
and a little birthday gift, bro.
Exactly. It's a nice little birthday gift that Zodwriter planned on purpose. He remembered my birthday, so really excited to see this awesome trailer. What about you, Sky? Are you excited to see some One Punch Man?
Oh yeah, man. Yo, I can't wait till this thing comes out, man. I can't wait till everybody's able to get a good look at this thing because there's so many people like from the community and from our like little extended family that is a part of this. And yeah, man, can't wait to see it, bro.
I can't wait to see it too. I sometimes have to tell Zodwriter, okay, no spoilers. This is a chance I get to star in a movie and still be surprised by it.
Right?
Not many people can say that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, trailer out 5/30/2025. And thank you, Trey. Really appreciate it. And the link to Sky's channel is in the description, so subscribe to his channel too. And now, before we get on to Revenge of the Sith, I'm just going to kind of give some brief thoughts on Tales of the Underworld. It came out today. So basically, it's like Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire. And this series stars Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane. For those of you who've seen Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, I guess Cad Bane was in Book of Boba Fett. This is a story about them. So Asajj Ventress, it takes place between Clone Wars and Rebels, and then Cad Bane is about his origin. So it was good. It was really good. Tales of the Jedi was better, but it was way better than Tales of the Empire. Like, I mean, Tales of the Empire. Did you see Tales of the Empire, Sky?
No, I was still in my little Star Wars. How could you call it? Not boycott full, but yeah, man. You know, I wasn't really rocking with it.
That's fair. And honestly, Tales of the
Oh my
Empire
God.
didn't exactly win me over. It was just they told the wrong stories to tell. Like, basically, they kind of advertised Darth Vader, and Darth Vader doesn't really appear, which was kind of, it's like you basically bought James Earl Jones' voice for AI. You got his signature on to use Darth Vader, his voice for Darth Vader whenever you want now with AI.
Yeah.
You have permission. You have the rights. Use it.
Yeah.
But this series was much better. Characters we care about, the story that we actually want to see with these characters. So it's worth checking out. And they're short episodes. They're like 15 minutes each, 6 episodes. So 3 for Asajj Ventress, 3 for Cad Bane. I guess, have you seen Clone Wars, Sky?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll get some of the references.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy seeing Cad Bane and wait, what show did Cad Bane make it into? I'm not sure. What is The Mandalorian, right?
Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett.
That might as well have been Mandalorian based on how.
Right. Right. I'm sitting there. Yeah, man.
So, yeah, but overall, I think it's worth checking out. Definitely check it out on Disney Plus.
Book
Disney
of
again.
Boba Fett, man. Bruh.
Yeah.
Why did they do? Yo, just spoiler alert for anybody thinking of delving into the backstory of a character that we literally like have never seen their face. It's not a good idea to like take their helmet off and have it off for an extended period of time. You know, they did the same thing with Halo, bro. Right? None of us have seen Boba Fett's face. Like, yeah, we know what he was supposed to look like, right? But we never saw Boba Fett's face. Like, come on now, man. And then they just got him like a banta, you know.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then they had some of my favorite moments in the of any Star Wars series in that show, but they did it in the wrong show is the problem. Like, It's called Book of Boba Fett. So if the only episodes that are worth watching are the ones that don't have Boba Fett in it, you failed. You failed, because if it's called Book of Boba Fett and you don't have Boba Fett, you failed.
Yeah, man. Nah, they were too busy trying to, have a Din Djarin be the selling point, you know,
and undo 2 seasons worth of progress with getting Grogu home.
Right? Crazy.
Just saying, I know that you had Grogu merchandise. You could have just given Grogu a different show and still sell Grogu merchandise, Disney. You didn't have to undo that, but you know,
they'll learn or they won't, you know.
Well, even Andor, they screwed up. It's like the first 3 episodes, like, I loved season 1, but the first 3 episodes of season 2, they were boring. And then they recast Senator Organa.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. I've been at the movie so much, it's been hard for me to like watch a lot of shows because I've been going to a lot of screenings recently. But yeah, the Bail Organa thing was weird to me, you know, because I'm like, usually I hear scheduling conflicts, and I was like, man, what really happened? You know?
Yeah, what's he even in, honestly? I don't like, I mean, is the actor...
Bro, that's what I thought. I was like, man, what is Jimmy Smits doing, bro? Like, let's just keep shout out to Jimmy Smits.
Here's another crazy thought, though. If he's not available, you could just not have him in it. It's a big rebellion. It's not like he needed to be there. You could have adjusted your story slightly. He's like, Bail Organa has been in this too much to change his face all of a sudden. Like, just don't have him in it.
Yeah.
You can do that. So
Yeah, I don't know. Crazy.
But anyways, let's talk about some great things. A kind of a win for, I will say, Disney. The re-release box office. So according to these numbers, hold on, I have the link in the description. Let me just share my screen to show this.
Bruh, I feel like
Okay, so
I feel like Mick Foley right now with the mandible claw. You know what I mean? You ever heard of that? Shout out to my old school wrestling fan.
no, I have. Okay.
Mankind, bro. Mankind.
What up, Austin? Producer of both our channels.
Shout out to the good
I love that Star Wars Rebel Moon intro you did for me. And yes, guys, shout out to good Austin. But anyways, Revenge of the Sith earns 42.4 million globally in its 20th anniversary re-release. So this is just the re-release box office number. So many of these articles are like, it earned $900 million. I'm like, oh, you're counting from when it was first released in 2005. Okay, well, that's kind of a misleads. But what do you think about these numbers, Sky, for a re-release? 42.2 million.
Man, I think look, that's dope as hell, yo. To be able to put out a movie 20 years later and to make 42 million, I think is a pretty massive sign that, you know, there are still people that are involved in this franchise, yo. And I think that when you look at what the sequel trilogy has done, it's really just turned a lot of people off of this new Star Wars stuff, right? If you look at a lot of the shows, the fan just engagement. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems to be much less than what it was, man. Like, I keep going back to this. There was so much hype around episode 7, dog.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much hype. And even after the film came out, you know, people can say what they want, but the fan base was engaged, yo. And I think that by the time that we got to Rise of Skywalker, people just wanted that old Star Wars feeling back. And you fast forward till now, 20 years later, with Revenge of the Sith, and now we're seeing that, hey, people are actually still interested in this franchise. It's just the older stuff, you know, and not from episode 8 on.
Exactly. I mean, people are always going to love the 6 films no matter what. Episodes 1 through 6. I think even Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, I think, is kind of being looked at better than it used to be. But
Yeah,
no, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing about it too, Sin Havoc. That's what's so crazy is that I don't think that's gonna happen this time, right?
Oh yeah,
because what I think happened last time was that you had a kind of like a shift, right? Because let's take me. I'm 37, right? My dad was really into Star Wars when he saw it, right? So being able to grow up with these films and watching the OG trilogy, but because it wrapped up in, what was that, 82? It wrapped up in, and I was born in 87, right?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi came out 83.
83, right? So it wraps up in 83. I'm born in 87. I grew to love that OG trilogy, right? Because my dad loved it, I loved it, and then you fast forward to the prequels coming out. I think a lot of the fans of like the OG movies, especially with the first two, because I remember a lot of the discussion when that film came out. I think that a lot of the older fans did not like the way that especially those first two kind of sequels. It was really Phantom Menace. Let's just keep it a buck. It was really Phantom Menace. Allegedly, Steven Spielberg said that he told George Lucas not to cast the kid as Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
It was going to make this weird dichotomy with him and Padme, which it absolutely did later. Right. And I think it was really the Phantom Menace. I think if he would have started out with Hayden Christensen from the beginning, I think that we might have had a different kind of outlook. You know, I think it probably should have been a situation where you kind of had them meet the super young Anakin, and then you might have had to like flash forward in time a little bit to him being a little bit older, and then kind of started there. But you know, I think a lot of the older fans of the older movies, they felt like, hey, this new one was kind of like made for kids, or you know, and you also had the advent of them using a whole bunch of CGI. This was one of the first movies that ever had performance capture, if I'm not mistaken, right? And they were shooting all on green screen, which was something new as well, right? So, with us kind of having those things be prevalent in the zeitgeist at the time, it was really just the older fans versus the young people that kind of grew up. And I love those films. And then when you grow up, we become more vocal. And now it's like, oh, these films are getting much more love, even though it's really just us that was younger that saw these films that really loved them. But yeah, these sequel trilogies seem to have pissed off everybody. Like, I don't know anybody that likes these movies.
No, I agree. Like, I think Force Awakens was good. I'm going to say Force Awakens was good, but I think to me, it's much easier to start off something than it is to finish. It's like a superhero movie. They say the origin story is the easiest story to write. And I think it's kind of that same thing with Force Awakens. It's basically you're introducing their new characters. You're giving them their origin. You set a mystery. So all of a sudden, the audience has their own expectations. And I think the biggest issue with the sequel trilogy is you had Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams playing tug of war with each other. If they had J.J. Abrams direct all three films, I think we've had a much better scenario. Because then you have Rise of Skywalker, where J.J. Abrams trying to do two movies in one, basically. He's trying to undo everything that Last Jedi did. It's like, Rey's nothing. Whoa, no, she was nothing because she chose to be nothing. And then because JJ or Rian Johnson didn't want Kylo Ren to redeem himself, but JJ Abrams did. Yeah. Basically, because they killed off Snoke, now you have to have this other villain for Kylo Ren to redeem himself, because you need another evil villain for another villain to redeem himself. So you kill off Snoke, you either have to introduce a whole new villain or you bring back Palpatine. So I still think they should have done Darth Jar Jar, but that's just me.
Yeah. It was crazy. I saw Dennis saying the older fans got what they wanted with the sequels. I don't think that's true at all. Like, they wanted the OG characters back together. That never happened. We never saw Han, Luke, and Leia back together. The OG fans wanted. Look, they were the ones super mad about it being really close to episode 4. So I don't know, man. Because my dad is a huge Star Wars fan. He loved episode 7. He was like, hey, man, it was good. Let's see where they go from here. And it wasn't until episode 8. That was the one, yo. That was the one. And I think personally it was more of I don't even know if I blame Rian Johnson. I think it was more Kathleen Kennedy, because like J.J. Abrams and Colin Trevorrow both they both were in unison about where the thing's supposed to start and end up. And then you have this middle film that comes that just kind of messes up everything. And like, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, bro.
So Qatar, though, they didn't really have much of a choice. Harrison Ford wanted to get killed off, and then
Yeah,
Carrie Fisher.
that's the only way that he would do the movie. That's the only way that see, and that's the thing. Like, that's why I didn't blame him for that. It's the only way Harrison Ford would do the movie. Harrison Ford has wanted Han Solo to die since, what was it, like the third
Return of
movie?
the Jedi.
Yeah, he wanted him gone in that one.
He thought it was like a great way to end his arc because he starts as this selfless character. So then if he sacrifices himself, it's a full arc for him. But
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm about to go on a rant. And those weren't problems that the Force Awakens set up. They were questions, right? Like, let's take Snoke, right? Like, there was nothing in the timeline wise that was a problem with Snoke being there in episode 7. The problem becomes because you kill Snoke in episode 8 when he's supposed to be the new big bad villain throughout the trilogy, and you unceremoniously kill him in like this not whimsical fight scene, but the shit was damn near whimsical. I don't know, man. Look, we got to move on because I'll keep cooking The Last Jedi, bro. No.
Absolutely. And I'll just kind of end this by saying I think this was a win that Disney needed. I think this win right here is what Disney and Star Wars needed to bring us back to a time that we love seeing Star Wars again. Like, just basically like this. This made me remember that I love Star Wars, that I love Star Wars. And I guess, Scott, what did you think about that opening when you saw Hayden Christensen with that little special message for everyone?
Oh, it was super dope, man. Look, I'm gonna give you. Look, I have to frame this for you guys because I actually had one of the worst theater experiences in my life watching this movie again, Bad Dan. This was insane, bro. Insane. I've been waiting to tell this story. I actually told a couple of the homies. So look, I get my tickets, right? I want to see this in D-Box, which is with the moving chairs, right? I get to the theater on time. I'm a little early. Go get my concessions. Walk into my seat. There is a row of D-Box seats back then. There's one guy in the entire row, right? I'm walking up and down and I can't find my seat. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I look, the one guy in the entire row is sitting in my seat, bro. Right? So I'm like, hey man, this is my seat. Right? So he moves, and now I have to sit in this seat that's already warm. So I'm hot back then, right? Because I like to sit down on the cold seat, you know what I'm saying? Kind of put my groove in it, right? Lean the chair back, but couldn't do that because there's this guy that's already pre-warmed and broke in my seat. So I'm kind of hot. But I'm like, fine, I'm gonna just watch the movie, right? I'm trying to chill. More people start coming in. This guy comes and sits next to me, and he's like, hey man, I kind of made a mistake. I have two of my friends with me. We have like this one seat in the middle. Do you mind switching seats? Right? Like, so that I can sit with my friends or whatever, right? So now something in me goes like, yo, man, just go ahead and switch, bro. But I'm even more mad now, right? Back then, because I'm like, yo, this guy, wait, I fucking come in here. One guy's sitting in my seat. This other guy can't book his tickets properly. Right? So I'm getting more and more mad, right? So his friends show up. One of his friends walks in and gets in the seat that I was going to be sitting in. His friend is like disabled. You know what I'm saying? So now, Batman, now I'm mad that I was mad. Right? So I'm just getting more and more upset, bro. And I'm trying to wait for the movie to start. I'm sitting there, bro. I'm like, yo, I cannot believe that this is. I'm like, yo, let's just start this damn movie, please. Right? The opening crawl starts, Batman. You'll never guess what happened, dog.
Oh, what?
Somebody had a fucking, excuse my language. Somebody had a laser pointer, dog, in the fucking theater, and they're like right, like going, right, and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? So like the third, like the third or fourth time that it happened, I'm looking around, I'm like, is anybody gonna like fucking do something? Right? So he did it like one more time, bro, because it's like the D-box seats are in the front row of the back, right? And it's like a little bit of space, bro. After he did it that next time, I got up and I'm like leaning over the rail. I'm trying to see where this is coming from, right? But I can't tell. Whoever it is, they do it about 3 or 4 times throughout the rest of the movie, bro. To which I also, from burning up all this energy, using this anger, and having a long day at work, I nodded off a couple times, right? So now I'm even more hot. Bro, I see who it is at the end, because during the end credits, the person did the little laser thing one more time. And I fucking saw him back then. Guess who it was, dog?
The one who wants you to switch seats.
No, it was the guy that was sitting in my seat, dog, when I first got there. And I couldn't tell it was him because he kept moving seats. Bruh, I was like walking up towards him, and I looked at him. He looked a little disheveled and like a little crazy. I was like, dude, let me just go home, bro. I was so hot back then. I was so hot, bro.
Oh,
that was my only chance to be able to see that movie in theaters. And that's the way that it went. But with that stated, to answer your question, seeing this movie, that opening in D-box with the chairs moving and all that, bro, it was fucking incredible, man. That part was incredible. Seeing this movie in theaters after all this time was very, very special. It's just everything kind of surrounding the situation, bro, went by this crazy. When that laser pointer came out, I was done, man. Like, I was done. Bruh, I almost turned into a Karen. I was going to go get an usher. But I couldn't figure out who it was. Because he like moved seats like 4 times.
I still would have complained to the theater because they need to be looking out for that kind of stuff. That's what I would have done. I would have complained to the theater and get my money back.
A laser pointer, dog.
Wow, I hate that. That's like ruin the experience for other people who paid to see the movie.
Crazy. 20 years, bro. 20 years later, you picked this movie to come bring a laser pointer in. Then it was a green one, and like the opening battle starts, and it's all these green lasers on the fucking screen. So I couldn't even tell what was a real, bro. I was yo, oh my god, bro. I was so hot, man. I was so hot. But seeing that opening, just a little message even from Hayden Christensen was super dope. And yeah, man, I had a lot of fun watching this, even though all that bullshit happened.
I would have been upset. So I totally understand. I mean, in my theater, I had some kids doing lightsaber battles in my row, but I honestly didn't mind that. Normally I would hate something like that, but
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it made me smile, honestly. Like, that made me smile a little bit, seeing kids have fun. One was dressed like Obi-Wan. I think it was Obi-Wan because he said hello there like Obi-Wan. So I thought that was
Hello.
really that was really cute. And I love seeing that message from Hayden Christensen, though, because it shows how
Yeah,
much more appreciated he is now. He is so much more appreciated as Anakin Skywalker, and seeing him come on to give the statement, to talk about thank you for seeing the movie, and also the real main character of Star Wars, Anakin Skywalker. So it was so fitting that he was there to give the speech. I really love that. And honestly, Sky, for me, this was one of my favorite experiences seeing a movie in recent years. Like, when I sat through that movie, that felt like a half hour. I felt like I was in the theater for a very short time. It did not feel like a 2-hour movie. It felt really short. Because I love seeing that movie in theaters again. It's been so long since I've seen it. I think 10 years old when I saw it in theaters last time, and I think I got a shot that day. I think I remember went to the doctors to get a shot that day. It was 20 years ago, but I think something like that happened. But so seeing this in theaters again, which is so magical, and it was really interesting for me because this might have been the first time I saw it after seeing Clone Wars. I don't remember. I may have seen it another time after seeing Clone Wars, but it's such a different perspective watching this movie after Clone Wars, knowing the clones aren't really at fault. And no, this is not like my whole Obi-Wan gave up thing. Like, the clones legitimately are not at fault because they all had inhibitor chips in their brain.
so you gave up that foolish proclamation that Obi-Wan gave up too early?
Oh no, I still think he gave up too early,
Oh
but
my
that's like a
God,
different but that's like a different type of not his fault. Like,
You
this
know, I
is
thought about you watching this movie. You know, I did, bro.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Yeah.
I was sitting there like, yo, Bat Dan is so ridiculous for this thing, right? I'm sitting there watching him choke Padme, and I'm just like, it's like this guy Bat, bro, it's so much worse seeing that shit.
Well, you know why though? Because Obi-Wan snuck on board,
Bro, nah,
and
man.
Anakin thought Padme was trying to kill
Nah,
him. Obi-Wan snuck
hey,
on board.
nah, bro. He's just choking the life out of Padme. And I was thinking, like, yo, Bat Dan condones this. That's literally what I was thinking.
No, I said Obi-Wan screwed up. That's what I said. Obi-Wan screwed up, and he did. But anyways, seeing this in theaters again, though, it was after Clone Wars. It was really interesting because, and looking at certain scenes differently, because the last arc of Clone Wars works Ahsoka into Episode 3 really well. There's like that one scene with Mace Windu and Yoda's like, grave care we must take. And then Clone Wars, it's revealed Ahsoka and Rex come in, and Ahsoka's about to say something really important, and then Mace was like, nope, you're a citizen, not a Jedi. Mace Windu really screwed up, though. Mace Windu's a dick, and we'll talk about Mace Windu. But we'll get into that. Because Mace Windu's actually a topic. But it was really great seeing this in theaters again. The time just flew by so fast. Just revisiting a time when we all loved Star Wars, a time when Star Wars was great. Because I love Revenge of the Sith. Again, it's my favorite film. I know that's a hot take for a lot of people. Favorite Star Wars film. I know it's a hot take for a lot of people, but I think to me, it's the best. It is the best out of them, and we'll get into why. But
it's up there. I think it might be my second favorite, honestly.
Oh, right, Return of the Jedi is your favorite.
Yeah, man.
And we'll get into that. We'll definitely see. Sin Havoc agrees with me. Even
Mace Windu's not evil, dog.
He's a dick. He is a dick.
But he's not evil.
Debatable.
A Sith Lord?
Oh yeah, we'll get into him. But anyways, now the overall story. So just the story in general. You know, we'll give certain scenes their highlights, certain characters their highlights. But what's your thought on the story of this movie?
Nah, I just liked how they really wrapped up all of the things that they were kind of threading throughout the whole trilogy, right? This trilogy was a lot more about politics, you know, than the OG trilogy was, right? This was delving much more deep into the political side of the galaxy and what was going on with the Republic and the Senate and all that and democracy, right? And all these trade deals and all, which look, if you look at the real world right now, that's kind of what's going on. So yeah, I just really enjoyed how they were able to kind of thread the needle with everything from that entire trilogy, and really having, because you go into this movie knowing what's going to happen at the end. That like Anakin has to turn into Darth Vader, and I feel that overall Hayden Christensen did a wonderful job, and it really pays off in this one, because in Clone Wars he really gives you that like uneasy feeling, right? Like there's just this something bubbling beneath the surface the entire time, and you finally kind of see that come to fruition, with him and the younglings and all that stuff, which I guess Bat Dan condones that too. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Hey, Obi-Wan gave up on my boy."
Right? Because he did.
But this is such a good movie, though, man. And I think that the story was great, and they did a wonderful job of executing what everybody had been waiting for, which is not always the easiest thing, right? It is not always the easiest thing to be able to take something that everybody knows is going to happen, and to have everybody looking forward to that, and for it to actually pay off. Yeah, they did a great job all around. So shouts out to George Lucas. You can see that he had really been growing as a director as well with these prequels, which is also something that you can kind of see too. So yeah, man, love the overall story, and just really enjoyed how they gave you that payoff of actually being able to see Anakin turn to the dark side, and it being, for a good reason, and Obi-Wan fighting him for a good reason, right?
Yeah, because he snuck on board and messed up Padme's chance of turning him good. But anyways.
You really, bro, it was too late back then.
No, actually, I saw a Star Wars theory video that a novel has actually confirmed that had Obi-Wan not snuck on board, Anakin would have turned good.
Look,
this is canon.
When did that novel come out?
I don't remember. I have to rewatch that. But like Star Wars theory has this video. What if Obi-Wan didn't sneak on board? I have to rewatch that.
Bro.
Oh, yep. We know Qatar. We know. Yep, they totally ripped off Rebel Moon.
He already had the Sith eyes.
So Luke turned him good, and he had Sith eyes for 20 years.
He was in the. All right, now it was only one person that could turn him back, bro, and that was Luke. And it wasn't Obi-Wan, and it wasn't Padme.
I still think it could have been Padme, but anyways, if we get on this. If we get on this too long, we're gonna this is gonna be like a 3-hour stream. But anyways, for me personally, I think this story was really good because it pulled off what it needed to do. This is the story that pulled off connecting the prequel trilogy to the original trilogy, because this is where it has to show how we got from Phantom Menace to the original trilogy, A New Hope. And I think it's hard because it's hard to pull it off. I say prequels are really hard to pull off because, again, as you said, what's going to happen. That Obi-Wan's not going to die. Yoda's not going to die. Anakin's going to turn evil. But we see how he turns evil. And I think what I like seeing is how the politics plays off. Because I think the politics is much better executed in this movie than it is in episode 1. I feel like in episode 1, it's just a lot of it's boring. I feel like whereas Revenge of the Sith, it feels more like this is like it's more entertaining. It's more
urgent.
Yes, it's more urgent. It's leading to the war, and it's showing, and you see a lot of the corruption of the Jedi, because there is a lot of, barring Clone Wars, just because I think this came out before Clone Wars, you see the Jedi doing shady stuff. Like, they ask Anakin to spy on Chancellor Palpatine. And yes, we know Palpatine's evil. We know that. But the Jedi did not 100% know that. So it's kind of, you see why Anakin... What'd you say?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
So you see why Anakin kind of starts to lose their faith in them, and they don't appreciate Anakin's work. Is that, again, they make him they put him on the council, and they don't make him a master. It's kind of a weird mix of like, we want to show appreciation for you, but we don't want to give you too much confidence. I mean, because
of what was going to happen.
But again,
I know.
They don't know. I mean, none of them really knew what was going to happen. And we'll get into Order 66, Josh. We have a whole order. Well, I mean, I'm not getting into real world politics in here, Sin, but in terms of the Star Wars politics, well, absolutely. But I think it did what it needed to do. I think the movie did what it needed to do. I think it was a really good... I think everything was paced really well, in my opinion. You know, you start with an opening battle, you get a little bit of politics in the middle, and then you get to the big battle. You seeing how everything came out to it, and seeing how the whole war was pointless. Because at the end of the day, this was Palpatine playing both sides of the war to get what he wanted. Because politics was needed, like Star Wars politics was needed to show how Palpatine came into power.
Yep,
he came into power for a reason, and I think, again, this was a really great story, in my opinion. And I think what helps with the story too is the opening segment, because, you know, Sky, this kind of reminds me of something you said. You know how you said they should have started with young Anakin not kid Anakin, but young Anakin in episode 2?
Episode 1. Yeah.
But what I mean when I said episode 2, I mean like how he was in episode 2. But
yeah.
I feel like this opening segment did something that was missing in general from the prequel trilogy that we saw a lot in Clone Wars, but you can't just rely on Clone Wars. You have to see this in the actual movies, is seeing Anakin as this hero of the Clone Wars. We needed a movie for that. Seeing Anakin as this great hero, the good Jedi who cares for people, who saves people, what we saw in Clone Wars. And I feel like this is why I like the opening segment, because this is the only time you really see that in the prequels. You see why Anakin was a great Jedi. I mean, he came on the General Grievous' ship. He killed Count Dooku. He rescued the Chancellor and Obi-Wan. He tried to save the clones more than Obi-Wan did when they were trying to board Grievous' ship. You know, Anakin wants to help them. Obi-Wan's like, no, they're doing their job, we're doing ours. Whereas Anakin, he cares about people. He wants to save as many people as he can, and he successfully lands Grievous' ship. This was the whole point of this segment, in my opinion, was to show Anakin being the hero of the Clone Wars, being this great hero, this great Jedi hero. And that's why I love the opening segment. What's your thoughts on the opening segment, Sky?
You know, I thought it was great as well. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The Clone Wars definitely came out after this movie came out. So it kind of helped fill in a lot of the blanks in time, right? So seeing him kind of like at the height of his Jedi powers too, I think is very important. You know, seeing him actually be able to be the one that really defeated Count Dooku, even though Count Dooku got set up too. Like, you know, it's just kind of dope all around. And I really enjoyed how you know, this movie was kind of just the culmination of Palpatine playing both sides, and you really just seeing everything kind of fleshed out, and seeing the effects of how everything played out, and you know, or with him rising to power.
Exactly. And you see the first sign of Palpatine showing that he is only out for himself. He tells Anakin to kill Dooku. He's like, kill him. And Dooku has that shocked look on his face, like, Master? What?
Yeah, right?
And at that moment, that tells you Palpatine is only looking out.
Dooku knew, like, oh shit, like, hey, this guy really ain't care, bro. You know?
And you look at this differently after Tales of the Jedi, because I don't know if you saw Tales of the Jedi, but that's you see Dooku's backstory in it. And you see like he went to Palpatine because he was sick of the Republic. He was sick of the Jedi. And now he thought Palpatine would give him something different, and he didn't. He sold him out just like the Jedi did.
Right.
Just like Mace Windu did.
Man. We'll get into that later, man.
But I think one more thing the opening segment does that's really important. It shows Obi-Wan and Anakin's friendship, showing their working relationship.
That showing, too, yes.
Like even the banter they have.
He even saved his life. And then when Palpatine tried to make him leave him, he was like, his fate will be the same as ours. I was like, that's dope. You know what I mean? That's dope.
Because Anakin cares about people. And I think that's really important. You see this contrast. Anakin, pre-Darth Vader, cares about people and wants to save as many people as possible. He's one of the only Jedi who care about clones, who see clones as people. I mean, aside from Anakin, Ahsoka, Plo Koon, Yoda, and possibly Obi-Wan, the Jedi didn't give a shit about the clones. Anakin did, though, because Anakin cares about...
Just not younglings that are at the Jedi Temple, you know what I'm saying?
No, that was when he was becoming Darth Vader. I'm talking about Anakin here.
I know.
But yeah, we'll definitely get into that. We will get into that. But overall, I think the opening segment is great. It does what it needed to do. And now the score. Sorry, I had a bit of a burp there. Sky, what's your thoughts on the score?
Man, John Williams, yo. John Williams is like, when you think of, great composers and film composers and stuff like that, John Williams probably will be at the top of most people's list in terms of historical themes. I say that he's part of like the OG untouchables, right? This guy, man, from Jurassic Park, bro, to Star Wars, to Superman, it's just very, very special scores, man. And this is par for the course, yo. The score was fantastic. I really, really loved all of the music that I heard in this film, and just experiencing it in the theater with that surround system and those theaters. I mean, those theater speakers really bumping, and with the moving seats and the D-box and everything. It was just fire, man. I had a wonderful time. Yeah, and E.T. too, right? It was just super dope. And John Williams is probably historically the GOAT. Like, I think that there's people that are still kind of working on their craft right now and could possibly get there, but John Williams is at the top of the list, man, for me.
Absolutely. I can agree with that completely, especially because the score, I think, best score in the movie. I think it's one of my favorite scores in movies, period, honestly, because I think the score really helps out, really adds to the movie a lot. It's really great for conveying Anakin's emotion. The score that plays when Anakin and Padme are looking out the window each, when Mace Windu and the three Jedi are about to assassinate Palpatine, and that score that plays there, and Battle of the Heroes. That's probably one of my favorite scores ever, when Obi-Wan and Anakin duel. I probably shouldn't go too far because I don't want Disney copywriting me. But that score that plays the whole time, that is I think my favorite score ever for a battle. And when Padme is trying to reach out to Anakin, and the score that plays there, just so many great scores. And then Duel of the Heroes, Duel of the Fates. That can't hear you.
Oh snap! I don't know what was going on. The part that I really loved was how he was able to really capture the emotion when Anakin was like choking Padme, right? Like it just really, really, it just really, really rose, and I was like, bad Dan, bro.
Yeah, and again, all because Obi-Wan went on board, snuck on board.
I'm gonna stop. That was just too funny.
But the score is just so great in this movie. I think this one is my favorite score in all the 6 films. And actually, a little trivia about the opening crawl, though, the score. John Williams specifically composed that score so it would flow smoothly from the 20th Century Fox opening. Like he composed that opening crawl score with the 20th Century Fox theme in mind.
Fire.
So that's why.
And then it goes right into that epic battle, bro. That was dope.
Music is a character. I think Trey even says that the music is a character, at least when done right. And this definitely, I think the one movie where the score definitely is important. I mean, I think the other movies I think you kind of review without talking about the score, but not this one. This one, you need to talk about the score. The score is really special in this movie. And now let's get into characters. Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. Seeing James Earl Jones at the end again. After, I think... No, and which George Lucas added into Return of the Jedi. I don't agree with him doing that. But anyways, just seeing that again. And actually, for those who don't know, Hayden Christensen was in the costume in that movie. And the Darth Vader costume, that was Hayden Christensen. Not fucking James Earl Jones, but the actor operating the costume was Hayden Christensen himself.
Hey, that's dope, man. And I think that it really, really almost goes full circle when you see how he was back in the costume in Obi-Wan too, right?
Yeah, he was back in Obi-Wan as well. In fact, when Obi-Wan cuts open his mask and then you see Hayden Christensen even talks, that's actually him talking it's like a mix of him and James Earl Jones talking. They blend that together. But yeah, that was Hayden Christensen. It's kind of reminded me of Rebels, actually, because Ahsoka did the same thing fighting Darth Vader, and then it was Matt Latner, the guy who voices him in Clone Wars, talking, but they kind of did that same thing. But anyways, well, don't get too off topic here, but I guess, what's your thoughts on Anakin in this movie?
Yeah, shouts out to Annie, man. Hayden Christensen did a fantastic job. Just how I was saying earlier, just really showing that there always seemed to be something kind of bubbling beneath the surface with Anakin. And he never really felt like he was really satisfied or happy, or it just, even in moments of levity where he was smiling, it still always seemed like there was just a little bit of darkness there. And it just really, really plays well throughout the trilogy when you're able to have it pay off in this kind of manner. So yeah, Anakin Skywalker is the true protagonist of Star Wars films. He is the one that has brought balance at the end. Wasn't no Rey Skywalker, you know what I mean? But yeah, shouts out to Hayden Christensen and just the entire team that was able to kind of come up with the Darth Vader angle and the Anakin Skywalker angle that they were going to go with in this film, because it all kind of coalesced and really, really paid off in this film. Which, if this, look, when these prequels were coming out, this is what everybody was waiting on. Like, this was the moment, hey, how did Anakin turn into Darth Vader? Like, that is the point and the crux of these movies. So if that does not work, the movies don't work at all. And with his performance being what it was and it working, I think that's why these movies work. So yeah, shout out to Hayden Christensen and just everybody that had a part in and any input in that Darth Vader / Anakin character.
Absolutely, absolutely, Sky. And Hayden Christensen, again, he is an actor who never should have been hated on. He was. I think Harley even agrees with me, or does she disagree with me? I can't even tell.
That seemed to be in agreement.
But anyways, Hayden Christensen gives a phenomenal performance in this movie, and I can't believe all the people who hated on him. He was such a great actor in this movie, a really phenomenal actor, conveys his emotion really well, and I really believed his turn to the dark side. A lot of people feel it was rushed, but it wasn't really that rushed because there was always darkness in him. I mean, you saw Attack of the Clones when he killed all the Sand People for killing his mom. I mean, darkness was there, and in this movie, he feels betrayed by the Jedi, and he's doing anything he can to save his wife from dying, even though to prevent what happened with his mom. You see all that, and you see the one person who is being his friend, apparently, not actually, Palpatine. By appearances, Palpatine is his only true friend. You see all this stuff. The council's having him do shady stuff. They're not appreciating what he does for them, and then he falls to the dark side. But again, the prophecy says brings balance to the Force. Balance doesn't mean, if he just killed the Sith and all the Jedi were alive, that really balanced technically is it? Not saying it's necessarily right, but based on what the prophecy said, he brought balance to the Force technically.
Yeah, after he was the one who unbalanced it.
I mean, it was balanced in the other way, but that's what I'm saying. I do believe his fall to the dark side. And again, Clone Wars definitely adds to it. I mean, Clone Wars definitely adds a lot to his turn, like with the whole how they handled the Ahsoka situation.
Yeah, which I feel like for purposes of this discussion, it's kind of hard to bring up Clone Wars, man, because it did not come out yet when this film came out.
I know. It's just it's hard because now that I see it, it's like in my head now. It's like
I get it. But hey, man, that did not exist yet, bro. But even
without Clone Wars, you still have the other stuff. I'm just saying the Clone Wars just added to it. That's all I'm saying.
I feel it.
But I think it's such a great turn, such a great fall to the dark side. I really do believe it. And then seeing that regret in Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi, you feel like it works a lot more because now you look at Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi and you see this Anakin who fought in the Clone Wars, who did care about people, sin havoc. Yes, he had some selfishness in him too, but he did care about people. So he's such a great character in this movie. Hayden Christensen did phenomenal. I'm glad that he's appreciated more. I'm glad that he is appreciated more by the fan base. I mean, just saying, there's a lot of parallels to the prequel trilogy, George Lucas and Zack Snyder and his DC, if you really think about it. There's so many parallels. And also...
Sounds like a stream back then.
Yeah. In fact, one thing I'll say, this is about the rise, fall, and redemption of Anakin Skywalker, the main saga. The Snyderverse is about the rise, fall, and redemption of Henry Cavill's Superman. Because he rises as Superman, succumbs to the anti-life equation, redeems himself afterwards. Like Anakin. Rise, fall, redemption.
Yep.
So, just want to point that out there.
Yeah. Hey, I feel it, but let me not say that because it's just this whole Obi-Wan thing is always funny. And I love the tease back then because we've been having this conversation for years, dog.
And we even had our stream on it. Last stream I had Sky on was actually this very discussion.
Right.
But don't worry, I'm not going to bring on Super Bro Corey this time as a secret weapon like I did last
time.
Oh,
it was all good.
Anyways, now, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'll let you start, Sky. What's your thoughts on Obi-Wan in this movie?
Hello there. right? Now, I really do think that this is the one where Ewan McGregor kind of really came into his own as the character, yo. Seeing where he started off in, looking like very, very young in Phantom Menace, right? And then you see him at I have the high ground, Anakin, right? Like, man, and you know another reason why I think that Anakin's turn kind of works is that you do feel that sense of kinship with Obi-Wan and Anakin, right? They have a lot of great chemistry. They are friends, which is also something that was shown off in the beginning of this movie, right? And Obi-Wan seems genuinely disappointed and broken when Anakin turns at the end. It was definitely a great job by Ewan McGregor, and shout out to him and Hayden for learning that choreography too, because they really different. And if you notice, those two in particular are like so much better than everybody else that they've been training to like use these lightsabers kind of like ever since, because they were forged in those prequel films where the way that those are the best lightsaber duels in the whole damn franchise, right? So yeah, it's seeing them kind of rock out and have these fight scenes with the Jedi at like the height of their powers, and seeing Obi-Wan try desperately to save his friend only to be forced to disarm him at the end.
Nope,
It was a great experience, and shout out to Ewan McGregor, man, and shout out to Obi-Wan Kenobi for sure. You're our only hope.
I mean, exactly though, Sky. Ewan McGregor does do a great job as a young Alec Guinness. Like, I mean, the two really feel the same character. Because I always say it's always a challenge when you have another actor play a character, even if there's like a good story reason for why it's a different actor. Like in this case, he's younger. You still have to kind of act like the character. And I do believe this is a guy who would age into Alec Guinness. Despite the fact that he aged like 40 years in 20 on Tatooine. But anyways,
hey, that's what that son will do to you, man. Those twin sons, bro.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But Obi-Wan is a true Jedi. Obi-Wan is the true Jedi of this movie. Is that despite the fact that when I say brother, not his actual brother, but the guy he thought of as a brother, Anakin Skywalker, the fact that he turned to the dark side,
my brother Anakin,
did his duty, and fought Anakin to save the galaxy, despite the fact that he didn't try to turn him good. But anyways, despite that, he was a true Jedi. And not just that, though, but the fact that the clones betrayed him. The clones betrayed Obi-Wan, too, as far as he knew. Hey, I said that he didn't try to turn Anakin good.
You messed up, bro. He said Obi-Wan had to go fight to save the galaxy. From whom back then? Who did
the guy he gave up on, but that's still milk at this point, though. So
he had to save the galaxy.
Yeah, he had to stop Darth Vader in some way. He should have tried to turn him good, but he didn't. But anyways, Obi-Wan went through so much stuff. He went through so much stuff. His brother, his army, like his whole clone battalion that he's fought with for years. They betrayed him too, as far as he knew. And he, despite all that, he still saved the day. He still did what he had to do. He still, like, he was a true Jedi. And like, I love his banter with Grievous when he's on Utapau. I think I'm pronouncing that right, Utapau. But
yeah, I think so.
He was able to take on a cyborg Grievous who knows the Jedi arts. I mean, he was able to do that, and he learned from his mistake. He learned from Darth Maul's mistake too, because Darth Maul had the high ground in Episode 1. Obi-Wan learned from Darth Maul's mistake and used the high ground to his advantage.
Yeah.
So,
he shouts out to Ewan McGregor, man, for sure.
he is a great actor, and he even tries to help Anakin before, like when he's frustrated with the council. Like there, he was helping him.
Oh, so he was
And
trying.
Not at that point. Not at the point I said he gave up. I'm talking about before Anakin's fall to the dark side. Before his fall to the dark
So
side.
he was trying to help his friend. Is
At
what
that
you're saying.
point in the movie, yes. But he still gave up too soon. Anyways.
Hey, I'm not saying this stuff bad, Dan. I'm just using your words, bro.
anyways, the fact that he's trying to help Anakin, though, at that point in the movie, we'll get too off topic if we keep. Anyways, we're like Obi-Wan's like trying to reach out to his friend at that point, trying to tell him like we'll work together. And then like feeling conflicted, the conflictedness he gives when the council's giving Anakin his mission to spy on Palpatine. Like there's part of Obi-Wan that's like, this isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. But he's conflicted though.
Right. And that's what was so dope, man. You know what? I'm actually gonna save this for that other topic. Let's go ahead and you can keep going forward because
okay,
I got a doozy bad dad.
Okay, so Palpatine,
unlimited power.
The guy who actually dies in Return of the Jedi. I don't care what Rise Skywalker said. He dies in Return of the Jedi. Anyways.
Right.
Well, I mean, Obi-Wan still won the fight. Anyways, what's your thoughts on Darth Sidious in this movie, on Palpatine?
Man, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis? Nah. That one scene, bro, is worth watching his entire performance throughout all the Star Wars movies. Palpatine, he's slick, man, and I love the way that once again you have these things being these threads being built throughout where you always kind of knew, like, hey man, this guy just doesn't seem right, even if you don't know that he's going to be the Emperor, right? You always just kind of get that sense of like, man, something's up with this guy, right? Like, I don't know if I can kind of trust him. And then you end up seeing like, hey, this guy is on to something, right? And it really starts around that tragedy of Darth Plagueis conversation. That's when he first starts, like, it's like, it's like, yo, who is this guy? Like, is he the one that killed Plagueis? Right? Like,
how does the Chancellor know about this story and the
right?
Jedi don't?
Exactly, right? And it's just great, man. I really enjoyed the performance. I always butcher his name. It's Ian something.
Ian McDiarmid.
McDiarmid. Right? Yeah, McDiarmid. But he did a fantastic job as Palpatine. And he's actually the one kind of thing that they've added in, like, to some of those older movies that I actually kind of didn't mind.
Yeah, episode 5. Yeah. Just episode 5. He was already in episode 6, but episode 5.
Yeah.
And I think that episode 5 scene with Ian McDiarmid, I think that was actually filmed during Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, crazy.
Which
George Lucas loves tampering with his movies, man. He's always been doing that shit, going back, adding people in, adding in Hayden Christensen to the older movies, right? Like, but hey, I'm all here for it.
You know what? We'll eventually review Return of the Jedi. I'll give my thoughts on the Hayden Christensen ghost in that movie, in that review. But anyways, for Palpatine in this movie, like, he is such a great bad guy. I'm so glad they brought the same guy back from Revenge of the Sith, is that this guy is real manipulative. He's able to he's able to adapt to the situation always. Like, he knows Anakin's afraid of losing Padme. He plants that dream in his head. I mean, we don't necessarily know that Palpatine did it, but he did it. Let's be honest here. Yeah. And he definitely killed Darth Plagueis. And the way he gives that story is that he he's like telling Anakin that story though to remind him that to give planted in his head that I can help you save Padme, and in a way he
the Sith
foreshadows
know stuff that the Jedi don't, you know.
and he foreshadowed his own demise in that movie too. Because think about it, he talks about how his apprentice killed him in his sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, now Palpatine wasn't sleeping,
But it was
but his
still the same.
apprentice,
Yeah, man.
he killed him while he was occupied. Palpatine
Right.
killed him.
Just like what
Or
happened
Vader
with
killed him.
Dooku, man. Dooku got played too, bro. Bro, like that's why I have to save this because it's like too much of a whopper. But it's just that, you know, I feel like when you look at a lot of these situations, you know, they all kind of have a common thread.
Yeah. But because Palpatine is the one who manipulated everything all along. No matter who you want to blame, whether it's Anakin, Obi-Wan, Windu, in all reality, Palpatine's the one who manipulated this all. He was able to, again, he turned everything to his advantage. Like, even the fight with Mace Windu, because if I recall correctly, George Lucas said that Mace Windu actually won that fight. From my understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Palpatine didn't throw the fight. No, like, Mace Windu won, but Palpatine used that to his advantage. He's like, look, Anakin, the Jedi are taking over. They're trying to assassinate me, a politician. I'm paraphrasing here, but that's basically what he's saying. He was able to adapt, and even having to get deformed, he used his deformity to his advantage too. So Palpatine is really...
They left me deformed.
And he was able to use that to get the Senate to vote him as an emperor.
I am the Senate. So many quotables, bro.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You're right. He has so many. It's just like, I am the Senate, not from a Jedi. And
not from a Jedi.
Like, Ian McDiarmid, you could tell had a really good time doing this movie. Like,
oh yeah, man.
And it was so great that George Lucas got him back, because you needed that. You really needed that to show, like, because again, he is the real bad guy of the franchise, not Darth Vader, Palpatine. Or I guess in the original trilogy, he's just called the Emperor. It's something that kind of flew over my head rewatching the original trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's just, wait, is the Emperor, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, they don't call him Darth Sidious or Palpatine in this movie. They don't even use the term Sith Lord. It's literally just the Emperor.
Yep. Because nobody would have known to call him Darth Sidious. Right?
Right. You just don't think about it.
You know, that's like that would be like somebody in the OG trilogy calling Darth Vader Anakin Skywalker. Like, they wouldn't know that, right?
I mean, they do actually call him Anakin Skywalker in Return of the Jedi.
Well, I meant like A New Hope or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I get what you mean, though.
Yeah.
I mean, because, well, actually, A New Hope, George Lucas left all references out of him being Luke's father, because he didn't know that Star Wars was going to take off. Yeah. So he wanted A New Hope to be able to stand on its own. So there was no, as far as A New Hope is concerned, Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker. So,
I mean, which he did.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like literally he killed Anakin Skywalker, as far as, or I guess it's just called Star Wars, not A New Hope at the time. But yeah, figuratively, yeah, that's why Obi-Wan says, "What I told you is true from a certain point of view." In other words, sorry I lied to you, but I'm not going to say sorry because I'm a dick and I gave up on your father.
I was trying to help you. I've watched you since, he watched over Luke since a baby.
But you know who did try to help Anakin? Padme.
Oh my God.
But I really like Padme in this movie too, is that, and it's funny because I agree with you about the age difference, but it's funny because like when you get into the older years, that 5 years doesn't really matter as much. Like it matters a lot more when you're like teenagers, but when you get into your 20s and your 30s, it matters less. But what's really funny though is Hayden Christensen's actually older than Natalie Portman, even though in like the character is 5 years older. Hayden Christensen's actually older, which is what's really funny about this whole.
Nah, I don't know what was going on with episode 1. they just should have never introduced Padme to that kid and Anakin. I don't know. It's just, bruh. I remember seeing it back then. It was like, this shit looks kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Oh yeah,
I don't
I'm not
know.
touching
It
that
was
one with a
just-
10-foot pole.
It was just funny because I was like, what the hell? But yeah, dude, like they could have left that, but I think once again, it would have just been better for the first movie's sake, for Phantom Menace, if that story could have been reworked to just have, you know, her kind of meet Anakin when he was at least like a little bit older as like a teenager or something. I think it would have just looked better, and it probably would have worked a little bit more with audiences. You know, but hey, that's not the story that we got. But Padme, I think Natalie Portman did a fantastic job. You know, when you think about how her character is introduced in these films, period, like, you know, she is this royalty, but she's doing like this body double thing when you first meet her, right? Where it's not really her that you're following. She's like playing one of the servants to the queen or whatever. But it's just a super dope performance from Natalie Portman, and I think it all culminated in the emotion that was shown on her face when Anakin was like choking the life out of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, right.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, though, she gave a great performance, and even all that, like, still believed it, and Anakin was good. Like her dying words
Right.
to Obi-Wan, "There's good in him."
There's good
still.
in him. Yeah.
And
She loved him.
Because Padme knew her husband. She knew Anakin. And anyways, though, I mean, what I like about Padme is that she actually realized, she starts to kind of see, like, hey, the Republic's not this good that necessarily that we thought it was. Like when she gives that speech to Anakin, but that's ended up being the case because it was Palpatine who was in power, but she was the one who realized the flaws of what they were fighting for. And she was the one who actually, regardless of what happened, regardless of whether or not she could have turned him good and whether Obi-Wan screwed it all up, that's neither here nor there. The fact that she went to Mustafar to try to reach out to Anakin, she wanted to help, believed in the man that she loved. It's just, Natalie Portman did such a great job in this movie. I really like this character, and I think it was a great motivation for Anakin, because you needed something to turn him good or to turn him bad, but you also needed, to give Leia and Luke a mother, right? Because you talk about their father, and we'll get into a plot hole that may have been created from that. And honestly, though, I don't have a problem with how Padme died in this movie. Like a lot of people were saying, a broken heart is so stupid. A broken heart is so stupid. But
it happens in real life.
I mean, well, here's the ironic thing. Carrie Fisher, that was her movie mom. But her real mom died the same way, I'm pretty sure, too. Because, like, her real mom died 2 days after Carrie Fisher died.
Yeah, no, it happens, like, in real life. I was actually just reading some story recently about some mother, I believe, who, like, lost her child and then passed very soon after that. Yeah, man, no. Anybody saying that that's a stupid reason, I think that is kind of crazy. No, she did a fantastic job, and I think showing that heritage where Luke and Leia come from, I think was very important, because you can see both qualities in their children from the parents, right? Because you see the passion, the determination, the fieriness that's in Anakin, but then you also see the nurturing side and the caring side, because that's where their caring comes from. It comes from Padme. I don't know how caring Anakin was, you know what I mean? But I know Padme was definitely caring, and shouts out to her, and we got your back, right? We know what really happened.
Anakin was caring. That was part of what made his fall so good, though, was the fact that he started off caring and
he was caring a whole lot. He was like, I care so much.
Because I thought you brought him here to kill me. You could have. I was starting to hear what you were gonna say, but then Obi-Wan snuck on board, so now I think you tried to kill me. But anyways, Yoda. Another great character. I love Yoda. And fun fact, there's actually a deleted scene where he's actually in Dagobah, but they cut the scene because I saw a commentary on this. Basically, George Lucas thought it didn't really fit because the ending ends with the Skiiwalker family. It starts with the mother with the funeral, then you have the father building the Death Star, then you have the daughter with the Organas, and you have the son with Obi-Wan going to his aunt and uncle. So a random Yoda scene on Dagobah didn't really fit. So that's actually why George Lucas had to cut. It had nothing to do with time. It didn't fit the ending, the symbolic ending of the movie. So, but
yeah. I mean, we all know where Yoda went anyway. You know?
Yeah. Go exile. I must go. So yeah, we don't need to. I don't know. I kind of do. I mean, I know we kind of argue a lot, but I do think Yoda gave up. I still think I'm not on Anakin. I'm not talking about Anakin. I think he could have given fighting Palpatine another shot.
I think Palpatine was probably too powerful at that point, man.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later, but I do love Yoda, like the wise Yoda you see in this movie, like trying to counsel Anakin, telling him to let go of everything you fear to lose, which he was right.
More people trying.
I'm talking about when he turns bad. And that's the part where they screwed up. But Yoda's the one who actually always sees the flaws of the Jedi. Like, I mean, he's the one who says, talking about how Mace Windu's like this, the Jedi may have to take control of the Senate. Yoda's like, grave care we must take. He's the one who knows that, hey, this is a dangerous thought we're going to. Like, be careful, guys. Like, Yoda is the wisest Jedi ever, and you really see that in Revenge of the Sith. What's your thoughts on Yoda in this movie?
Yeah, I really think that Yoda's dope, man. My favorite scene of him in this movie is like I can't front. I just loved how he sensed that Order 66 was about to happen, and like how he just like immediately took action. You know what I mean? And it really goes to show, like, yeah, he is all wise and always trying to take the diplomatic approach, but he will still get down too. You know what I mean? Yoda is still a Jedi master, right? And yeah, just being able to see these prequels and get a lot more time with him after him being such a well-loved character in the OG trilogy, and us not really getting a lot with him, it was dope to kind of be able to revisit that character in the prequels, see him when he was more at his height, not literally, but figuratively speaking, right? But when he was kind of like at the height of his powers, as the head of the Jedi Council, right?
Absolutely. And Yoda, again, another great lines: destroy the Sith. We must. Yoda is another great character, and Frank Oz did such a great job. And Bail Organa, not much to say about him, honestly. I do like that, there was a senator who was helping the Jedi, that he
is it Jimmy Smith still, or is this a recast version?
This is Jimmy Smith. This is the right actor. Unlike Andor, I may actually. Anyway, I'm not going to get too far into that. I mean, I'm fine with him being recast in Clone Wars because at least his face is the same. It's just his voice. But
yeah.
But here, I loved this character too. Is that he sprung into action, helped the Jedi, and then you see, why it's Leia Organa. He took care of and actually genuinely loved Leia, even though it was kind of like a pity thing, or like he genuinely loved Leia at the end. You see at the end, he's like, she will be loved by us.
Yep. We always wanted a daughter, right? Yeah.
What about you? What's your thoughts on Organa?
Yeah, I always love Jimmy Smith's portrayal as this character. Not really sure what's gonna happen going in the future, but at least we got these old films, yo. And shout out to Jimmy Smith's always played the character with a lot of like grace and like presence, right? He has a very powerful presence on screen, and I really think that always came through.
Absolutely. And he came back for Rogue One. Rogue One got him. Like, honestly, if Rogue One didn't have him, I may have been okay with this recast because I'm like, oh, he got older. That's why he looks different. But you showed him in Rogue One, so that went out the window.
And wasn't he in Andor season 1 too?
I don't know if he was in Andor season 1. I don't remember. I have to rewatch Andor season 1.
I don't remember.
But anyways, great character, and now the guy who I think really screwed everything up, Mace Windu. He was a dumbass. I'm sorry. You're going to arrest Palpatine, but you're going to bring the one you know is the Sith Lord. You bring 3 Jedi with you. You only bring 3 Jedi with you. You should bring the whole freaking council with you. Bring as many Jedi as possible with you. Why are you only bringing 3 Jedi with you?
Yeah. Who's all left though? Because I don't think Yoda was there. Right? And you know why I can't accept that back then? Because he won. Had a certain person not cut his arm off, you know what I'm saying?
It would have been more. But
Mace Windu said, bro, I could have pulled up Dolo, dog. Mace Windu said, I got he like, I'm the best fighter in the galaxy, dog.
But here's the thing. If he had brought more Jedi with him, likely more of them would have been alive, and they could have stopped Anakin from cutting his arm off.
So now it's everybody, but nah, man. Mace Windu would have had enough. He had enough. He won. He had him
until Anakin stepped in.
Bro, he was like, yo, what do you say? You will face justice or something like that. We're like, bro, you about to
the oppression of the Sith will never return. Yeah. You have lost.
Yo, and he did lose, bro. Until Anakin unbalanced the force.
Anyways, we'll talk about that fight a little bit later. But, I just got to say, remember in Winter Soldier when Captain America on his list, Star Wars was on his list of things he needs to catch up on?
Yeah.
What did happen when he saw episode 3?
You said what would have happened if he saw episode 3?
Yeah. Because seeing Mace Windu.
Oh, he'd have been like, wait, huh? Is that Nick Fury? He'd be like, what happened to your eye, Nick? Right? I got love for Mace Windu, man. I'm just saying he won, bro. He won.
But he's still screwed up. He was a big part of Anakin's fall to the dark side. He was the one who
won.
Until he lost. Anyways, we'll get into that later. But he was a big one. He was the one who really antagonized Anakin a lot. He was one who was wanting to talking about taking over the Senate. I mean, yeah, good intentions, but Mace Windu's a dick. I'm sorry. Mace Windu is a big dick. Samuel L. Jackson did a good job, and I do like how the character is written, but I think that's important to have a character like that, though. Even though I say Mace Windu's a dick, you need someone like that in the story. I think that was important to have someone who was not a nice person.
Yeah, you need people like that in real life sometimes. Right? Yeah.
Wait, what? You're going to say that Snoke was going to be Mace Windu? Is that what you're going to say in Sin Havoc?
No, maybe. No, I don't think he was going to be Snoke. I think it was something where maybe that line of thinking, because Mace Windu was always the more, I mean, he was a Jedi, but he was like, you know, I always think that he would be like the Leon of Jedis. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like super like, yo, we good, but we still gotta fight though, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like we still gotta keep pressing this line, dog. Right? And
I feel like if I agree with that statement, I'm basically calling Leon a dick. So I'm going to disagree with that statement for that reason.
But
I don't
I'm
want
right.
Leon.
You know I'm right. Like Mace Windu is like the Leon of Jedi.
I have.
But look, here's my big bomb though, right? Because I've been kind of holding this. People keep saying, "Yo, the Jedi were wrong." Were they though? Like everything that they was kind of worrying about, ended up coming to fruition. Like, yeah, what if they did have to take over the Senate? But look at what Palpatine was like about to do. Yeah, they kind of didn't trust Anakin, but they kind of were right not to trust Anakin. You know what I mean? It's like everything, they were kind of right still because of what ended up happening.
But you still have to execute it properly, because if Mace Windu had handled the situation differently, things might have turned out. And when I say this, I'm talking in universe. I'm not talking in the fact that it's a prequel. I mean, in universe, Mace Windu did mess up. I mean, I'm not going to go back to Clone Wars again, because if you watch Clone Wars, he
can't do Clone Wars. Clone Wars did not exist yet.
But in this movie, I still feel like he just came off as a bit of a dick in this movie. But he was going to trust Anakin. He was about to trust Anakin.
Right? He trusted him and to take him with him. Yo, look, and think about this. He had Anakin with him. That should have been enough.
No, he told Anakin to stay behind.
Wait, but he still came, right?
Yeah, he still came, but not under Mace Windu's orders.
He just popped up?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
He did pop up. Okay. Anyway, he still would have won, bro.
But I don't know. In some ways, he was right, but he's still a dick. But I do love Samuel L. Jackson as the character. And now, R2-D2 and C-3PO, they don't really hurt the movie, but they don't add a lot, but they do keep the important tradition of putting them in all the movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they're the only ones that have been in all the films. Dope.
All the Skywalker saga films. They're not in Solo, but they are in Rogue One. And then poor C-3PO at the end, they had to erase his mind for no other reason than we need to make the original trilogy make sense. So
can't create a he said blame Anakin and Obi-Wan.
But what was the
can't create a time paradox?
What was the actual point, though, of erasing C-3PO's mind? I'm not talking about, though they had to because for the original trilogy. In universe, what was the point of erasing his mind exactly?
Wasn't it something because, if I remember correctly, or the way that I took it, with how, chatty that C-3PO was, you obviously wouldn't want this guy walking around, you know what I'm saying, with all this information about Anakin Skywalker and secret babies, and you know what I'm saying, it's all types of stuff. R2-D2, you at least got to be able to speak droid
to understand him,
and he just doesn't seem as chatty as a C-3PO does.
I mean, it explains why he's like, I'm the property of an Obi-Wan Kenobi, and C-3PO is like, what? It's like, well, yeah, that's why he says that, though, because of Revenge of the Sith. But Anthony Daniels, though, shout out to him. He's one of the only actors who always comes back for his role of C-3PO. He came back in Clone Wars. He came back for an episode of Rebels. He came back for that god-awful Resistance show. He's always C-3PO in everything.
Dedication to the role, bro. Facts.
Exactly. And that's actually a person in R2-D2, right? That's actually a little person.
If I'm not mistaken, yes.
I don't know about the newer movies, because I know he died, but I think in the prequels, it's still... Because technology is better now. Yeah. So, anyways, great characters, not much. Just like this guy. I mean, he's in the movie basically to get killed off because they didn't kill him off in episode 2 because they needed to keep a war going. And I'm sure, I know you don't want to go back to Clone Wars, but I'm sure George Lucas had some idea that a series like that was going to get made, so that's why he kept Count Dooku alive. So they could have
all the time at the level of a top producer who between them or separately can produce flop after flop after flop after flop. Hell, shouts out to Christopher Lee. Yeah.
Great actor.
It was dope seeing him at the beginning of this film. To this day, he still got the hardest lightsaber hilt of all time. You know what I mean?
And the fact that he did acting so old into age. I mean, that's not easy to do. Like, voice acting's one thing, but he actually did a lot of stunt acting for someone his age. So shout out to him, honestly.
Shout out to Christopher Lee, yo, for sure.
Don't see a lot of him, but yes, this is what they should have done with Jar Jar. I will say that. But anyways, I think, or Darth Tyrannus, as he's called like one time in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
But it was great seeing him, giving Anakin that kind of another step to his fall to the dark side. So, Christopher Lee, really great.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Chewbacca. How did you feel seeing Chewbacca in the movie again?
I can't do that. I don't know. That was terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going to try doing that either.
Chewie. I love Chewie, man. It's always nice seeing Chewbacca. Shout out to Yoda because I love this delivery of it too. You know what I'm saying? Man, shout out to Chewie. And yeah, man, it's always dope seeing these like little nods to your favorite characters.
Exactly. And, it was fan service 100%. It didn't really contribute that much to the story, but it didn't hurt the story either. I still think it was cool to see. And it gave Yoda a way to get away from the temple because you needed that. You needed Yoda away from the temple during Order 66. So it served that purpose. And it's so funny when Yoda's like, miss you, I will. The Chewie, I'm thinking, and I don't know if you're going to understand this reference. You tried to steal his Diet Pepsi. There was a commercial. There was a Diet Pepsi commercial where Yoda tries, he uses the Jedi mind trick to take a guy's cheeseburger and fries, but the Diet Pepsi was stronger than the Force. And he's like, the guy's like, the Diet Pepsi I do want. And then Yoda tries to go after Chewie's Diet Pepsi.
So nice little nod, right? Almost breaking the fourth wall.
I'm thinking, it's like, wait, you miss Chewie even though you try to steal his Diet Pepsi? That's what I thought when I saw that in theaters the first time. Because that commercial came out before Revenge of the Sith did. It
did. I actually forgot all about that until you mentioned it.
Yeah, we're really showing our age in this one, aren't we?
Crazy, bro.
No.
Bro, I will never forget these steak fajita tacos that Taco Bell started making right before Phantom Menace came out, bro. They were so good, dog. They were so good. Taco Bell has probably never had a better taco than them steak fajita tacos that they was selling before Phantom Menace came out, bro. Crazy.
I don't think I saw that. I was too young to remember that. I was really young when Phantom Menace came out, but Revenge of the Sith,
age, bro.
Fair enough. Yep, both of us, we're old people compared to some of you watching, and then we're young to compare to other people watching. Depends on who you're talking to. But anyways, General Grievous. 2 lines, Sky. 2 lines made Dave Filoni have to rewrite the entire Clone Wars, or had to work around the entire Clone Wars. Anakin Skywalker. I expected someone of your reputation to be a little older.
Yeah.
General Grievous, you're shorter than I expected. Because of that little exchange right there, Dave Filoni wrote all of Clone Wars to make sure that Anakin and Grievous never interact.
Yep.
And there's so many close calls where I'm like, how did they not interact there? How did they avoid each other completely? And there's one scene where like Anakin's unconscious walking this way, Grievous is walking this way during a prisoner exchange. They totally do not look at each other, even though they're passing each other. It's like crazy how close they come to interacting with each other and then not.
Man, seeing that fight scene with General Grievous with the 4 lightsabers was pretty dope in the theater, man. I ain't even gonna front.
He's another kind of pointless villain, but I still great though. Like, he was just basically there to give Obi-Wan someone to fight. But yeah, Grievous, I love.
Grievous. Very, very menacing, bro. The 4, and it's funny too because when you first see him coming on screen and like you see this droid coughing, it's so funny. You know what I'm saying? He just. I'm like, bro, like it's so funny when you see it at a big screen. I don't know why.
Well, what's really funny when you say that, talk about his cough. If you notice when he's about to talk to Darth Sidious, he lets out a really big cough so he doesn't cough while talking to Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
Like he was, and another actor who's dedicated and actually comes back for Clone Wars. He's actually he's the only actor from Revenge of the Sith to be in the Revenge of the Sith game.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, everyone else is recast, but I mean, aside from the movie clips they show, aside from those, Grievous is the only one. So that was another really dedicated actor. And you mentioned the fight. It's a really great fight, honestly. Obi-Wan versus Grievous. Grievous kind of screwed up in a way. If he was not like, back away, I will deal with this Jedi slime myself. If he just said, screw that, everyone start blasting at Obi-Wan.
Let's just get him. Hey, you never know what would have happened. But nah,
yeah.
he was trying to take matters into his own hands and ended up getting dealt with. You know what I mean?
What I like about this is that Obi-Wan didn't beat him with the traditional lightsaber. He actually had to use a gun to fight Grievous, and he's like so uncivilized.
Yeah,
because he hates guns.
But it worked.
Exactly, it worked, but I really like that. So it's another really great fight. I mean, the 4 lightsabers, Obi-Wan cutting his arms off, and I love that moment where it looks like Obi-Wan's cornered, and then the clones appear.
Yeah. Super dope, man. Super dope fight, bro.
Just like this fight. I mean, I did like this fight. I mean, I'm just saying, if Mace Windu had brought more people, maybe Anakin wouldn't have been able to chop his hand off. But anyways, but also too Sky. In all seriousness, though, it's not like Mace Windu knew for sure they were going to win that fight. He's the ultimate Sith Lord. Just because he won that fight doesn't mean he was right. It just means he was lucky. Like, let's say you blow all your... Like, Sky, here's an analogy for you. Let's say you blow all your money on a lottery ticket. You're poor, you blow all your money on this lottery ticket. But this lottery ticket's a $2 million winner. Your debts are paid, you have money. Was that a smart thing to do?
No, but it worked, right?
Exactly. I'm just saying, Mace Windu should have still brought more people to take down Palpatine. That's all I'm saying.
Look, Mace Windu was probably like me, like, bro, look, I know what he like, I know what I'm about to do. He like, so I'm gonna take a couple people with me. He's like, yo, and we should be straight. And he was right, because I'm sure he knew. Because Mace Windu is the best fighter out of all of the Jedi.
Except maybe Yoda.
Right? I don't... Probably. But who knows? Mace might even be able to fade Yoda like that, man.
No,
you never
not
know.
Yoda.
Hey, I don't know.
But anyways.
Hey, he faded Palpatine. Yoda couldn't fade Palpatine.
It doesn't work that way. Haven't you heard of rock, paper, scissors? Transitive property only applies to mathematics. And also, a fight, it's not like with a fight, it's not like that person's going to win all the time. You know, like the next day, Palpatine could have won the fight. It's not always a clear cut.
Yeah.
But it's still a dope fight, though. And what I love is that Mace Windu has Palpatine cornered, and then Anakin makes that decision. Not the right decision, but the one cuts his hand off.
And power.
But I do like that because there was the final moment for Anakin when he was truly Darth Vader. That like Anakin dies in this fight right here. Like Anakin
Yeah.
Skywalker is dead.
Yeah, that's when he chose. He picked a side. Cut off Mace Windu hand. Let him get ejectocito out the damn window. You know what I'm saying? Right? And to his apparent death. You know, but that might not actually be true. But hey, I just love that fight because I think that moment, like you said, is really the culmination of Anakin's turn to the dark side. 100%. That's the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after this, Palpatine's like, the Jedi are evil, all that, and then Order 66. And I'm saying right here, Fives tried to warn you all. Fives told you all about the inhibitor chips. You didn't believe him. And now look at what happened. Justice for Fives. Justice for Fives. It's like, this is Fives' I told you so moment right here. If Fives were alive, he'd be like, I told you all. You didn't listen to me.
Inhibitor chips, bro. It was like, nah, man.
Which, for those of you watching who have not watched Clone Wars, basically Fives, Clone Trooper 5555, also known as Fives, in Clone Wars, which takes place between episodes 2 and 3. He discovers chips in their brain, inhibitor chips that will make the clones obey certain commands. Eventually, Palpatine tells them about Order 66. He manages to escape. And then one of Palpatine's clones kills him before he can say anything. And then the people working for Palpatine, the people of Camino, they make Fives look crazy. They drug him. So that's why I say justice for Fives, because Fives tried to warn everyone. But other than that, though, what's your thought on Order 66, that whole segment?
Man, the most heartbreaking moment, dog. Execute Order 66. And you just see all the Jedi falling around the galaxy, and you see Yoda kind of experiencing that, and
like when he does this.
Right, yeah, man. And it's just a great scene. You get Anakin going to the Jedi temple, right? Taking out the younglings, gaining his Sith eyes. You know what I mean? Like it's really a dope scene, and it's one of those moments that the entire prequel trilogy kind of hinges on, because we're all waiting for it to happen.
Exactly. And this is what we see, the fall of the Jedi fall. And it's so heartbreaking. That's where we talked about the score earlier. The score really helps. It's so heartbreaking seeing that all these Jedi who fought alongside all these clones, the clones just all of a sudden killing them, and Yoda sensing the pain, like, oh my God, it's over. All the Jedi are dying. It's so horrible, and it's such a tragedy, and it's executed so well in this movie. The Jedi are dead. All the Jedi across the galaxy are dying, and Sin Havoc. Let's be careful about bringing real life stuff into this. I try to avoid that. So, anyways, and then
I'll be right back. Harley's going crazy right now.
Yeah, okay. Take your time. But yeah, it's such a heartbreaking scene right there, seeing the Jedi all die, and I love, again, it's another scene that's executed so well. And then you see Anakin's attack on the temple, the Jedi temple, where these are the Jedi that Anakin killed, not just the younglings. I mean, that's what we see, but Anakin kills all these Jedi in the temple along with the clones, along with the 501st Legion. I know we don't know it's called that, but that's what it's called at the time, or that's what it's called now. But anyways, another heartbreaking scene right there, seeing Anakin fall to the dark side and committing his first evil acts. Because, I mean, let's be honest. Okay, he cut off Mace Windu's hand. It was a reflex, a bad one. But if Anakin had killed Palpatine, he probably could have salvaged it. But here, killing all the Jedi, and for those of you who don't know, he kills other Jedi besides children, because when Obi-Wan looks at the hologram, he's killing non-children Jedi too. Like, if you look, it's like one Jedi, Sindralig, the other, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He's in the game. the guy who's in the game, but not in the movie. He is briefly in that hologram right there. So it's another great executed scene, and I love how it flows so perfectly with Order 66. Right here with Order 66. It's such a great scene. It's another great scene I love in this movie. And yeah, I just love Order like this and Order 66 flow so well together. And it's such a great scene that what up, Darth Plato? Which is part of Order 66. I mean, this is part of Order 66 because the clones are fighting Anakin because Order 66 was activated. Too bad they didn't find out about Order 65. If only Order 65 had been activated. If they listened to 5 with the inhibitor chips, they could have activated Order 65, which that would have been the one where the clones would have turned on Palpatine instead. Yeah, true fact, for those who don't know. One order earlier, and the clones would have actually turned on Palpatine instead of the Jedi. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, just be careful about bringing too much stress to the real world. That's all I'm saying. I do know there's parallels to real life. I'm well aware of that. I'm just saying, just don't want to bring too much real life stuff into this because it's stressful right now, and my channel is an escape from that. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I love this, and I'm not going to move on yet because we'll just wait for Sky to get back. You know how dog, gotta let out that dog. Dog's like, Happy Star Wars Day! Happy Star Wars Day! It actually kind of reminds me of a shirt I did. When I was a kid, for some project for, I think it was 4-H, I did a shirt with my dog on it and a Jedi and a lightsaber, her holding a lightsaber with her mouth, Photoshop, or something like Photoshop, and put it on a shirt, and it said Casey the Jedi.
Casey the Jedi?
Casey was my black lab growing up. So, anyway, Sky, what's your thought on this segment?
Anakin's attack on the temple. Super dope moment, man. All this is like when you really are at the movie kind of crescendoing. You're dealing with Order 66 and feeling all these emotions, and the attack scene on the temple, I think, really just did a great job of like bringing that emotion out of everybody.
Exactly, because it's like it flows so perfectly with Order 66. Like the two together really complement each other. Because because again, as Obi-Wan says in A New Hope, Darth Vader helped kill the Jedi. So you needed to see Darth Vader in the temple killing Jedi. Because he actually kills other Jedi besides children. He does in that hologram. Like Sindrau. I hope I'm saying that name right. Not just the game. In the actual movie, too, he does this. In the hologram that Obi-Wan sees. So.
The hologram.
And then, another thing that flows really well together, this fight with the Obi-Wan Anakin fight. But what's your thought on the Yoda versus Darth Sidious fight?
Oh my God. Peak, bro. Peak, man. When he's like sitting there throwing the damn not the Senate chairs, but like the little things that the Senate was like floating on. He's throwing them at Yoda, and Yoda's having to dodge everything. And just seeing Yoda in that position, because you always wonder what it would be like if he got in like a lightsaber battle. All the way back from watching episode 5, right? You always wonder, like, yo, if he's a Jedi, what was he like with a lightsaber and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And, we really got to see that here.
I mean, you saw that in Attack of the Clones, too, where Yoda did win that fight, if we're being honest there. I mean, Dooku knew he lost. That's why he,
Yeah, but this was different, man. This is him versus Sidious, bro. This is what we needed,
Yeah, exactly. You needed to see Yoda taking down Palpatine or trying to take down Palpatine. Why is Yoda in exile? It answers this question. Why is Yoda hiding? He's this great, powerful Jedi. Why is he out there stopping the Empire. And you see why. He lost. As far as he's concerned, he lost. I mean, and then he's like barely escaping with his life. The clones are searching for him. And, the Emperor's right-hand man, that guard, he's like telling the clones he's not dead. Double your search. So, it's a great fight. As well as the fight that goes with it. This fight right here. Two friends fighting. A friendship in flames, which for those of you who don't know, that's a level in the episode 3 game. It's when Obi-Wan fights Darth Vader. A friendship in flames. Right here. What's your thought on this fight, Sky?
You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. Right?
He wouldn't join them. He fulfilled the prophecy.
Once again, man, and I think that something that makes this movie what it is and why it's so dope, I think it's because it probably has one of the greatest third acts.
Oh yeah,
maybe of all time, right? Like there's so much writing on the third act of this film, yo. It's so much shit you got to wrap up. You got to wrap up, right? Like how this guy turned into Darth Vader, why Yoda is why he's there, why Luke Skywalker ended up where he's, I mean, like how Obi-Wan Kenobi ain't, like how he ended up on Tatooine and all that. Like there's just so many questions that this movie had to give you answers to, right? And I think that, at the same time, this fight kind of like is the culmination of the entire movie, yo. It was very hard for them to have to top, because I think in a prequel trilogy, when you were looking at lightsaber battles, it was really all about Duel of the Fates in that first movie, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan against Darth Maul. That was the standard. And you really had to top that with this fight scene. And for them to be able to do that, I think is crazy. Because that was a very, very tall task, yo. That lightsaber battle between Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul in episode 1 was fantastic. And this scene needed to have more weight to it, which it did. It needed to have more stakes to it, which it did. It had to satisfy. It had to be choreographed super well. Like it just had to hit on all cylinders, and it absolutely did. So, yeah, shouts out to this fight, because this is like one of the best lightsaber battles, if not the best in all of Star Wars.
Absolutely. There's a reason why I asked Austin to put this fight in my intro specifically. This is one of my favorite moments in all of Star Wars, is this battle right here. I love this fight so much. The score that goes with it, the setting, like the fact that they're not only fighting, but they're fighting on a collapsing platform into lava. I mean, that's hard to do. I mean, and it's funny though, Scott. You have Obi-Wan and Anakin going from this fight to, I mean, now granted, Obi-Wan, the series kind of, I mean, you had that fight, but before that series, you go from this fight to them just kind of moving sticks around in A New Hope. They're like, compared to this, where they're like swinging on ropes, jumping on platforms. It's such a powerful fight, though. I mean, and the Battle of the Heroes, like portraying how sad this is. Obi-Wan's fighting his friend. This is hard for Obi-Wan emotionally. Like, there's so much, as you said, there's so many stakes in this, so much in this. And then it's just like the heartbreak. And Obi-Wan's like, I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. It's so much heartbreak in this, so much emotion. The choreography is so great when they're kicking each other. There's moments where Obi-Wan's about to win. There's moments where Anakin's about to win. And I love when it transitions from Battle of the Heroes to Duel of the Fates back to Battle of the Heroes. The there's so much great stuff with this fight. I mean, so much stuff I love. And then when they're running from the lava, but at the same time they're battling each other, they're like, battle, take cover, battle, take cover. So much. I'm a nerd with this fight. I really fanboy out with this fight. So, well, we're gonna talk about that. But Sky, I'm gonna say one thing.
I hate you.
Obi-Wan should have just killed Anakin here. He let him burn to death. Just kill him. Just walk down, cut his head off, and leave.
Man, look at that fault and look at that time, bro. I don't know, man. I might have walked away too, bro. You choke Padme, dog.
But
The
what I'm saying,
younglings,
though,
bro.
he should have killed him to make sure he was dead. That's what I'm saying. He left him live, and
look, if there was any mistake that Obi-Wan made, it was that one.
I ain't giving up on Anakin, but we've already argued about that in our last stream we did together.
Nah, what he should have done was finish the job.
And you know, Austin, I'm really glad you said this because you look at all these movies with bad CGI. That green screen fight on Mustafar, that lava, that looks so real still to this day. I'm like, oh my god! Like I would not. I mean, obviously, I know it was a fake fight because that planet doesn't exist and Star Wars is fiction, but it looks so real.
Nah, it absolutely looked real, bro.
Great fight all around. And now I want to discuss some potential plot holes in this movie. First off, why was the high ground an instant win for Obi-Wan when in Phantom Menace Darth Maul had the high ground and Obi-Wan won?
Cause Darth Maul wasn't Obi-Wan, dog.
Yeah, that's my opinion too. Obi-Wan's just a better fighter, and he learned from Darth Maul's failure.
Yep, he learned, right? See what the Sith are about is hubris as well, right? I think also because of the fact that Anakin, because I don't think he saw that part, but he obviously probably learned about what happened there, right? And he's like, man, Obi-Wan did it, right? He's like, Obi-Wan did it, like he overcame the high ground with Darth Maul, right? Like, so I should be able to do it.
And nope, not at all. And you burned to death, and Obi-Wan just left you to burn and didn't, try to arrest you or kill you. Anyways, no. I don't agree with that plot hole. I know people try to say that, but I think about it, it's like, no, it really makes sense. Now the other plot hole. In Return of the Jedi, Leia remembers Padme. Leia remembers her mother. But here, Padme dies when she's a baby. What's your thoughts on that one?
I think, man, look, the Force, bro. The Force is a tricky thing. Leia's always kind of been Force sensitive. She may remember, like, I don't know if she remembers flat out. She did say that she remembered her mother, huh? But like, yeah, I don't know, man.
I think it could be interpreted as like a feeling she had. Even she says she remembers. She's like kind of remembers, but doesn't know why she remembers. I mean, maybe George Lucas could have planned ahead a little better and tried to like say, "Oh, I remember her," or I don't know why I remember her, or I don't know, or somehow have, or like maybe have Carrie Fisher record a line for the special edition. I don't know, but I think it's the Force, and the Force affects everyone differently, and I don't really think it gets deeper than that. They're just she remembers, she just doesn't know why she remembers. That's basically it to me.
Yeah, man, I agree.
And just because you remember, it's not like it's a clear memory per se. Like I have a lot of what I call flash memories of when I was young. Like it's like I remember this moment here, kind of.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what happened before or after that.
Yeah,
like
I know exactly what you mean.
So I think it's just like that. So Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Well, again, that's what I'm kind of what we were kind of saying earlier. A New Hope was made to be a complete movie, so that's why you don't really see a lot of those references. I mean, although I have to wonder, how much did Lucas actually intend for them to be twins? Because I mean, Leia and Luke kind of kiss in both A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Did Lucas really intend for them to be twins? Because I feel like he may have not done that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't
I
know.
don't. I don't know if that.
Cause I would say no, he didn't, but then you have the Phantom Menace thing, man, where I was just looks like I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah.
But overall, these plot holes I think can be explained really easily, and I don't think. Again, I think they're kind of overhated, and yeah, I think both have answers. Now, the ending. What's your thoughts on the final ending? You know, the the twins are separated. Yoda's in exile. Obi-Wan's in exile. Padme's dead. Darth Vader's looking with the Emperor, looking at the Death Star being built. What's your thought on that?
Nah, this was a great ending, man. Like I said, I think it's one of the best third acts, maybe like in film history, man. They had a lot to wrap up at the end of this movie, and they pretty much put a nice little bow on top of everything. So I really did enjoy the ending of this film and just seeing it on the big screen and how it wrapped up. It all just kind of put a big smile on my face, honestly, man.
I mean, exactly. It shows like everything makes sense. Why Darth Vader's bad? Why Obi-Wan's in exile? Why Yoda's not around? Why Luke and Leia are separated? It flowed so perfectly, and just it was such a logical explanation. Yeah, separate the twins so the Sith doesn't detect their presence. Organa's already talked about adopting a baby girl. Here's a baby girl that needs a home. Made perfect sense. It was such a great arc and ending, and then just that final Darth Vader, James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones delivers those lines so well. Like, I just love the way he says, "Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right? I couldn't. She was alive. I felt it." Just the emotion that James Earl Jones gives. It was like old times again with the original trilogy.
Only part that I didn't like was the no.
I actually like that. I didn't necessarily love that he incorporated that into Return of the Jedi, but I do love that. I actually like that there. But overall, everything is set up so perfectly for the original trilogy. And now, any other thoughts you want to give on this movie?
Nah, man, I just think it was super dope, yo. Hold on, I think I should be cool now. Harley's kind of calmed down. The wrapping up of this story and the feat in and of itself that was, I think is truly something that can't be understated. Seeing it back on the big screen again for the first time in 20 years, man, it was pretty dope. And just being able to experience it with the D-Box, which I had never had that before, and it really felt like I was in the X-Wings and all that stuff, man. It was crazy. Like, it was super dope. I had a really, really good time enjoying that aspect of it. I just wish it wasn't a motherfucker with a laser pointer in there, dog.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy,
that would irritate me too. I guess for me though, there is a rant I have to give. I'm seeing after seeing this, all these people coming back and like complaining about how bad Revenge of the Sith is, and all these people on Twitter are like talking about all the plot holes and all the awful things about it, quote unquote. Shut up. You are the reason why Disney owns Star Wars, if we're being honest here. George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney.
Bro, I've been saying this forever, that the original sin, bro, was George Lucas selling this shit to Disney to begin with. Like,
yeah.
Like, once that happened, as much as I loved Episode 7, which I enjoyed that movie a lot, I will not lie. I was in the theater, bro. I saw that shit in IMAX. When Kylo Ren froze the blaster thing, like the little laser from the blaster, my crowd went crazy. There were several points where people was yelling out stuff. I yelled at the screen. I yelled at Finn because I wanted him to kill Kylo Ren so bad. I'm not even one of those guys, Batman, who be like yelling at the screen and all that. But I was that night. Right? I was locked in, bro. But no, absolutely. The original sin is this thing having to be sold to Disney in the first place. And that happened. Bad Dan's absolutely right because of the response. And what's so funny is, as we're learning, that shit was probably capped.
Yeah.
All this online. Oh my God, everybody online. Right? That was probably the test bed for all this shit, honestly, man.
Wasn't George Lucas's wife involved in a lot of the creative decisions of the original trilogy? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought his wife was actually involved in a lot of the creative decisions in the original trilogy. But you're right,
man.
You're absolutely right, Sky, though. And that's why when I'm seeing people now like hating on Revenge of the Sith, it's like, guys, you are the reason why Disney owns Star Wars. It's something Sox Bulletin says. It's that George Lucas and Zack Snyder have very similar histories. There's a lot of similarities between these two. Is that Hollywood hates on them for basically no reason.
Crazy, bro. Crazy, man. I mean, probably because they're bringing something and changing the game, bro. Dude, look. I remember talking to my dad about what it was like pre-Star Wars and post-Star Wars. You know what I mean? And bruh, that shit changed the game. Right? It created a whole new genre, bro. It was breaking ground in terms of like fucking special effects, all that stuff, right? What people even thought was possible on a screen, you know? And you look at Zack Snyder and him creating a whole new cinematic language. And I was talking to my dad about how much 300 changed the game. He was like, bro, when 300 came out, he was like, I had never seen nothing like that. You know, and then you look and you see all these more like stylized movies now being made and all that stuff. You know, 300 is the reason why shit like Sin City was possible.
Exactly. And to answer your question, Rebel Moon Theory, I tried playing Battlefront once. I had trouble with it. I was a young kid. So I played it once.
I used to play the old ones, and then I played a bit of the new ones. And the whole Battlefront 2 thing was kind of crazy with their monetization.
What up, Bishop?
But gameplay wise, they're amazing and they're super fun.
I wish I did when I was younger. I wish I did. And I will say this. One thing I would love to see, Sky, we know that Zack's going to have different directors for his Rebel Moon spinoff projects. What if he gave George Lucas a project?
That'd be dope. Now, would he do it? I think he should, right? Because what the hell is going on with this whole wasn't he supposed to be getting a series on Disney Plus or something? But I don't know, man.
Yeah. I would think that'd be so dope if Zack Snyder brought George Lucas onto Rebel Moon for some project. That would be really. I could totally see Zack Snyder doing that, honestly.
That'd be dope.
So,
shit, I'd be down. Yeah, man, that's fucking match made in heaven.
Wait, are you saying they are collaborating or just an idea?
No, he's saying instead of it being like, because I get what he's saying, right? So let's say, because that would almost be like, yeah, you can come play in my sandbox. You know what I'm saying? I get what he's saying. But he's saying like, yo, maybe they collaborate on something, or you know, just I don't know. man, look, he work on. I don't know, man. I don't know. Just get some shit done with George Lucas and Zack Snyder. How about that?
Exactly.
How about that?
And now, final thoughts on Revenge of the Sith, and what would you rate it?
Man, final thoughts, man. This is my second favorite Star Wars movie behind Return of the Jedi. I really, really love this film. This is probably like a 9. I don't even know what to rate it. I wasn't say 9.5, but honestly, dude, I don't even know how I rate this film, but it's fantastic, and it's my second favorite Star Wars movie. And yeah, I don't think it's moving from that spot anytime soon. Anytime soon. So.
And for me, I love this film. It's my favorite of the Star Wars films. The score, the lightsaber fights, the acting, the story. It's a phenomenal film to me. It's one that gets overhated, but I love this film. I will defend this film. And to me, I'm going to give it a 9.999999999999999. I love the film so much. It's the best film in my opinion. And happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I love, this was a great film to talk about for Star Wars Day.
Yeah, happy Star Wars Day, y'all. Wait a minute, Bat Dan. What would be the one thing that would put it at a 10? Would it be if Anakin just held that choke on Padme a little bit longer? Just like a little bit longer. He was like,
no, it would be maybe if something like maybe they didn't have that. Maybe they explained that Leia remembering Padme thing more, or I don't know. But no, I mean, as much as I do believe Obi-Wan messed up, I think it was a realistic. It was, when I say realistic, I mean within that world, that's like a realistic thing to happen. So it's like,
yeah.
But I don't know. But still, I love this film, and thank you, Sky, for talking about this with me. And it's Star Wars Day, and tomorrow. This appears I share a StreamYard so buggy sometimes. Tomorrow is Henry Cavill's birthday, so there's a trending event tomorrow. Hashtag Happy Birthday Henry Cavill. Hashtag Henry Cavill Superman. You can use the solo hashtags if you want to, just no mixing, and engage with Netflix, not WBD.
Facts. Shout out to Henry Cavill. I mean, the real Superman.
And possible Han Solo of Rebel Moon.
Right, the rogue of Rebel Moon, indeed.
So be on the lookout for that. And
that one's cool.
Actually, yeah. Maybe if George Lucas worked on a project, collaborated, maybe it could star Hayden Christensen.
Right. Hey, that'd be dope, dog. Yo, yeah. Having George like direct something in the Rebel Moon universe with Hayden fucking Christensen, bro. Come on, man. That'd be too much.
Okay, Sin Havoc. Okay, if you say so. So now a big announcement for my channel. So you may have wondered why I've been MIA so much. You may have seen this announcement, but I'm going to just give it here live. Is that this month, or I guess technically last month, since May just started, I closed on a condo. So I've been so busy with getting the closing ready, and then I've been busy with packing. I mean, heck, I still have to edit a video I did with Socks on our review for Daredevil Season 3. I've been so far behind. So that's why I've been MIA so much, is that I closed on a condo, and even now I'm going to be moving back and forth. I've been moving my stuff there little by little. And so, yes, I'm going to be moving soon. And once the move is all done, though, I'm going to have a much better studio setup. Like, that second bedroom is going to be an office / YouTube studio. So I'm going to have more pictures in the background, just a much better background than what I have right now. And again, I don't mean what Austin designed. Like, this is phenomenal. I'm talking about like back here with all like my kitchen in the background. It's going to look like a real background, a real studio background is the idea. So I'm really excited. So it's going to be a while, and I'm going to be honest, there's not going to be much more new content coming out from me. I'm going to try to get some stuff coming out, but I'm going to release a lot of clips and remastered videos in the meantime to keep my channel activated. So I'm going to release some old clips from streams. So be on the lookout for that. So real exciting stuff happening for my for my channel. So thank you, Bishop. And Sky, you made an announcement yesterday on your channel
Last
too.
night, man. Yo, first of all, I want to say shouts out to Bat Damn, bro, becoming a homeowner pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like for the first time. Shout out to the homie. Man, that is a big, big step, bro. It is not to be understated. And congratulations, brethren. Proud of you. For sure, for sure.
Thank you.
Right? That's super dope, man. Everybody should always be trying to strive to do better in life and to keep like leveling up, and seeing you do that is incredible, bro. So much love. But yes, I did have an announcement last night. I'll kind of tell an abbreviated story over here for you guys. But for those of y'all that know me, y'all know that I was trying to cover the Ben Affleck Accountant 2 red carpet recently. Kind of wasn't able to get in because I got there a little later and they were already at capacity before I could get in. And you know, things just kind of kept happening, and I was at work, you know, and I love my job, love my company and everything that I worked for like 8.5 years. But yeah, like a moment just kind of happened, and it just, you know, and it was on Easter Sunday. I had no idea that this was going to happen. I didn't walk into work that morning even thinking that this was going to be possible. But yeah, like a moment kind of happened, man. And I typed in my resignation later that night, gave them my last day. And yes, I have decided to take my talents over to YouTube full time. And I have a beast of a computer that I'm working on. I was actually talking to Austin earlier today, and I was telling him about the graphics card that I'm getting, and you should have heard his reaction. He was like, "What? Like, whoa!" I was like, "Yeah, bro." And I was like, "I already ordered it, and it'll be here pretty soon and everything." And he was just like, "Yo, that's crazy." And yeah, man, putting together a beast of a computer. Got some soundproofing stuff right here next to me. Got computer parts back there. You know, got stuff literally waiting for me downstairs that I got to go pick up. That's getting dropped off. Yeah, I'm totally like revamping everything. Got a brand new monitor right across from me, bro, waiting to be opened. And yeah, dude, it's just very exciting for me to be moving over to YouTube full time. And look, for everybody that, you know, has been wanting to hear from me more, you guys will absolutely be doing so in the very near future. It's just going to be a couple weeks for me to get all this stuff put together. But yeah, like, nah, I'm in it. It's too late. You know what I'm saying? I got like my like little extra large little mouse pad right here, bro. Speakers. I got PC shit all around here, bro. We ain't playing no games, right? Sin Havoc said AMD Ryzen components is the real deal, bruh. Look, and if you want to know what card I'm getting, bruh, I'm gonna hit you in the shit. Like, nah, man, we're for real not playing games, dog. Yeah, I'm very excited. You know, this new processor I have come in got like all this AI shit integrated into it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. Oh, look, there you go. He said, I legit said that. It's like, bro, building the fortress of solitude. Yeah, man. I was like, bro, I'm gonna really go for it, bro. So yeah, man, I'm very excited and can't wait to be more on this journey with you guys, man, and just, you know, spreading my wings. And I'll be starting more channels. I'm be starting more channels. Right. My channel is about to look a little bit different. Yeah, man, it's just very exciting. So when I look around and I see everybody around me kind of leveling up, and just not only like just in their content, but just in life, period. it's very special. So yeah, man, y'all gonna be getting all kind of new shit from me. We're gonna be shooting everything in 4K, not 4K, FAUX. We talking about we're gonna have 4K videos. You know what I mean? Content daily from multiple channels. I don't think you guys understand what's about to happen right now. You know what I mean? So yeah, because look, that's all that really separates us, Bat Dan. Because like we're fans, right? And mind you, I'm not telling it because look, I always tell you guys to like, hey, just try whatever I'm like fucking saying. I'm not saying quit your job. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm in a little bit of a different position to where I like this was kind of like the perfect time. And that was the question that I asked myself. I was like, yo, and I'm pretty sure that you asked yourself that question with the condo. Like, if not now, when? Right?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that you looked around and you looked at your fucking forecast and you're like, I can do this. So let's do this right now. And I looked around and I was like, I can do this right now. Right. And I was like, yo, yeah, so hey, it is what it is. And now we here motherfucking full time, dog. I don't think they understand, Bat Dan. They don't understand, bro. Bro, that's been the one thing that's been separating me from all these people. I've always felt like this. It's been time, right? Like a lot of these content creators, they just have more time, bro. They have more time. And it's like, okay, well, guess what? Now I got all the time in the world. So soon as this PC get here, y'all, I'm telling y'all better get y'all fucking affairs in order real quick, because as soon as everything's here, it's a wrap. Yo, y'all better stop that graphics card from getting here. Somebody need to be like, yo, where did he order it from? Where did he get it from? Where is it? Where is it?
Exactly. And really happy for you, Sky, though. I'm really happy that you're taking this next step to really grow your channel and to do what you needed to do.
Operation really dominate the algorithm back then.
And sometimes you need to do that to achieve the great success, dedicate time to your YouTube channel. So I'm really excited to see what you have coming up. So speaking of which, what do you have coming up on your channel, or I should say channels?
Oh yeah, no. Just as of right now, we still putting things together. I'm still super busy because it's kind of weird moving from like working in like a corporate setting to kind of like you having to do everything for yourself and you set your own schedule and you do everything. So yeah, I'm still in the process of getting everything set up. Like I got to put up all this soundproofing stuff, and there's still some steps that have to be taken. But yeah, we're still gonna be streaming on the main channel, because that's what it's gonna be called right now, the main channel. You know what I mean? And I have a stream coming up, probably in like less than 24 hours. Yeah, and we got stuff coming, man. We're gonna be tapping in with y'all real soon. We're gonna keep these streams going. We're gonna keep these conversations going. And like I said, when the Fortress of Solitude is complete, it's up. It's up. Like I'm not playing no games, bro. I ain't playing no games. We done playing. We never was really playing, but like, nah, I got all the time in the world today. And tomorrow, and after that, and after that, and after that, and after that. So yeah, we here full time.
Exact. And I cannot wait, Sky. I cannot wait to see what you have coming up. And thank you for coming on my channel to discuss this amazing film with me. And I'm really excited to see what.
Wait a minute, hold up. Shout out to Bat Dan, man. If y'all don't know, this dude is one of the pillars of the community, right? Look, look, man, everybody that rock out with us, they know who this guy is, right? Bat Dan has been like so many people's in this community. First fucking subscriber, first member, first super chat. You know what I mean? He puts his fucking money up. He puts his time up, bro. He does streams for you guys. He always here with a great attitude, right? And he may be wrong, like with his Obi-Wan like giving up shit, right? But he's still the homie, right?
Thank you, Sky. Really appreciate it.
Anybody tripping with Bat Dan, something wrong with them. They don't need to be around, bro. If anybody tripping on Bat Dan, you don't need to be here, bro. I'm sorry, dog, but I'm not sorry.
Thank you, Sky.
Anybody tripping on this dude, anybody got a problem with him, I don't give a fuck what he did. Especially not disliking a video. You think I give a shit? I didn't even know people could do that.
Mm-hmm. Neither did I.
And I'm a content creator. You know why? Because I don't give a shit. Bat Dan could have disliked every single one of my fucking videos. I'd have never known. I'd have never known. But you want to know something? This man was my first member, dog. One of my first subscribers, dog. First super chat, dog. This man came to my house, dog.
Oh, yeah. I met your mom even.
We broke bread, dog. He met my mother. Nah, bro. Yeah. We went to bro. We got on fucking roller coasters together. We're roller coaster bros. What's wrong with y'all? Anybody that got a problem with Bat Dan, yo, you ain't right. Something wrong with you. Especially if you want to call yourself a part of this fucking community or yeah, whatever, bro. I don't know what's up with these people. Talk to them, Sin Havoc. Motherfuckers ain't even been nowhere yet. Ain't even done nothing yet. Already smelling theyself. What the fuck is going on around here, dog?
Thank you, Sky. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. This community means so much to me.
My bad, Austin. Hold up. Real quick back there. My bad, Austin. Even if he, bro, y'all know what I mean. I don't know. Bat Dan, bro, being here, dog, supporting.
Exactly, because I love this community. I love what we fight for. Fighting for the Snyderverse or just talking about great movies like Revenge of the Sith. I love this community. I love being part of the syndicate and colleagues, and it means a lot to me. And I'm really happy to have met you and hoping to meet you again this summer. And and just the fact that we have this community, Zod Rider making One Punch Dan. It's a great community to be part of. And
bruh, y'all not having a Bat-tastic day? Is that what's wrong with you guys? Huh? Y'all can't have a Bat-tastic day? What's wrong with y'all, bro? What's wrong with y'all?
I'll DM you, Bishop. I'll explain to you.
What is going on, bro? Like, why do I have to be the one to come on here and say this type of shit? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, what is going on when people are sitting here trying to go at Bat Dan? Bruh, how far have you fallen off the fucking rails if you're going off on Bat Dan? That's crazy. And I'm sorry, because I don't even know if I was supposed to say nothing, but fuck that. We ride over here. I'm sorry.
It's totally okay you said that, Sky. I really do appreciate you standing up for me because that whole situation. Because here's my thing. I never like to go after people, but if you do something that I don't see is right, I'm going to dislike a video because that's feedback that I'm giving as a viewer of any channel. It's not to troll. It's to say, hey, I don't like what you are doing. Here is my feedback of it. That's all. So, and honestly, Austin, one of my favorite parts of the meetup was honestly the car ride to Six Flags because we got to talk the whole way. And even the line to the first ride was one of my favorite parts because we got to talk. We got to really get to know each other. So, absolutely. And thank you, Sky, again for coming on. I really appreciate this, and I really appreciate what you said to me. Your words meant a lot. And guys, coming up on my channel, honestly, I've been so busy with the move. It's only gonna get worse because I'm gonna move. I'm gonna have to get set up. So I'm gonna try to do a live stream with Josh this week about Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. I'm definitely gonna get that season 3 video review of Daredevil with Socks out. I'm sorry, Socks, it's been so long. And I'm gonna get a Daredevil Born Again review, hopefully with Socks out. We'll see. Again, I'm so busy right now that it's hard to get out content, but once it's done, though, it's going to be back better than ever. And I will still support this community in the meantime, like Sky said, because I'm real with my takes. And that's what I will promise you. And you will get that always. So, guys, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more unique takes, interesting thoughts, and great banter such as this. And Skywalker, any final words?
Bro, yo, you got to get me off of here, man, because I'm about to go off, bro. I'm still seething right now from what that whole conversation, that whole thing back then. It's like, bro, you even know that in the first place, dog? Look, and I'm gonna just say this in closing: if you can't have a bat-tastic day, something wrong with you, dog. Real talk. Real talk, because we having bat-tastic days over here. I already let them know, Batman. Sign us off, bro.
Actually, because this is a Star Wars show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Space-tastic, bro.
Have a space-tastic day.
We having space-tastic days too.